So hello everyone, this is AetherNightmare and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV! Possibly last episode for A Realm Reborn. Who knows? Sorry I'm a tad late. It's been raining really hard here, so I've had to make sure things aren't flooding, so we should still hopefully have enough time to get through it all since I can go a little bit later tonight. And if not, there's Sunday. So we are continuing MSQ in memory of Moonbreda. Let us return to Mordona. Our Warrior of Light had a cry sleep, and now we need to go back into plot. Where? Oh my gosh, I get so turned around. This way. And then if I finish this, the following days I can use for relic webbing if I feel up to it. And if weather permits. In memory of Moonbreda. As Moonbreda was a native of Sharlayan, I feel it's only fitting that we gather before a mark of the scholar. Are you familiar with the stone? 'Tis a moment round at Relifrost, and it's sacred to Thalik, guardian deity of the City of Learning. There shall we pray for our dear friend's soul, and bid her a peaceful return to the light of the Mother Crystal. Okay, I don't know where that is. Technically it's in Mordona. Took me a moment there to realize. I think it was 16 parts that remain. 16 quests. Like I said, intend to get on sooner, but weather is gonna weather. Of course it happens on the day I intend to marathon it to the end. Of course! Oh, it's this ultra pretty tree. Wonder if there's something special about it. Wait, is it crystal or tree? It's a tree made out of crystal, or is crystal engulfing the tree? What is up with you? Oh, it does have the mark. I couldn't barely see it before. It's right here.
Forgive me, Moonbreda. Had I been quicker or wiser, but I was not, and you paid the price. But you would not suffer us to wallow in our sorrow, would you? You would tell us to pick ourselves up and get on with it. And so we shall. We shall defend this realm and her people to the last.
Can we teach Menphilia how to use a sword, please? Can we maybe have her take lessons from Yugiri? Because I know she says, if I was quicker or strong or smarter, but like, you didn't do anything? And so many times we need to rescue you? I'm not trying to blame her for everything, but with all that keeps happening, I think she should maybe consider.
For death, a fair exchange.
Consider taking Yugiri up on some of those ninja lessons.
Other bargains will be struck.
Am I the only one who can see the dragon? Because I'm pretty certain that's the case. He's like a little ghosty. Alright, back to Revenant's Toll. Dragon says more bad things gonna happen. Either because you caused them, or you see the future, or you already know a whole ton about us. Also, he kind of gives me Xenoblade 2 vibes, just for the fact that he used to be this great big daunting dragon, and now he fits in our back pocket. Despite the fact he's still totally full grandpa. Though we have said our farewells, the pall of sadness has diminished but little. Forgive me, as antecedent, 'tis my job to be the pillar of strength for all others to lean upon. Yet I also believe the grief we feel now is precious in its own way, and not to be lightly swept aside. Do you not agree? Awkward music timing. "'Tis as if a dagger has been thrust into my breast. But 'tis a pain we must learn to bear if we are to forge ahead with our duty. The battles we have fought have taken the lives of so many. Lewisma, Borbrida, Moonbrida, if I can talk, our fellows at the Waking Sands. Their spirits and dedication to our cause, however, will never be lost as long as we rise to fight once more. I hardly need remind you of this, of course. 'Tis for my own benefit that I repeat these words, a reaffirmation of my own chosen path. If I do not rebuild the foundation of my resolve, I am like to collapse in a fit of weeping. My apologies again. There is no other to whom I could display such weakness." Do you not trust the other scions that way? Or your own stepmom? You are my pillar of strength, and I fear I shall have need of your steadfast presence in my days to come. I'm literally the newest member, though. A victory won, a comrade lost. To honor the fallen, the living forge ever on, towards the light of a new day. Mask of Grief. Have you a moment? I believe Yido wished a word with you. I should consider it a personal favor if you could lend a sympathetic ear to her troubles. She has not been herself since Moonbrida's passing, and my heart aches to see her so downcast. Guessing she's at the door? Also, you are kind of asking it of the member who has spent the least amount of time with Moonbrida. My character has literally known her for like a day, which is why the impact maybe isn't quite as strong as all these people who have known her for a long time. We must find some means of protecting ourselves from the Astrian intrusions. There must be a way. Can you make some sort of ward? Tattoo style? The rising stones feel somehow colder. Moonbrida always carried with her such an abundance of warmth and cheer. They said he couldn't possess me because of the light. What if we found a way to, like, make charms or something that held the light of the crystal? And wore them as pendants. Just a thought. I loathe to see Yida in such pain, but I have not the words to comfort her. Can you imagine it? I, Papalimo, the one who has an eloquent comment for every situation, am at a loss for words. That would technically make us crystal bearers, wouldn't it? Having a piece of, like, the mother crystal with us. Or a crystal core. Hey, it's Bryn! Great! You process differently. Oh, it's no use. I'm trying to stay positive, but It's just hard, you know? You don't always have to. The thing is, I know Moon would tell me if she saw me moping around like this, which is why I decided to cheer myself up by getting her a special flower. I placed an order from the Moon Daisy with Rowena a little while ago, and it's ready to be picked up. The trouble is I find Rowena a bit difficult at the best of times, and, well, this isn't one of them. I don't know why everybody finds Rowena so difficult. I have to do the actual dealings with her, and I don't. I know it's silly, but I just can't face it at the moment. So I was wondering, do you think you could maybe collect it for me? I have the coin to pay for the flower right here. Thank you so much. I'll be waiting for you. And the daisy at Rathfrost. Hey there, DJT. Here's hoping we can make it to the end of Final Fantasy XIV tonight. Here's hoping the weather doesn't push me back any further or cause me to have to stop. Because it's raining sideways. We've really needed it though after the heat wave. Oof. What can I do for you today, adventure? Eldritch trinket to trade? Flower payment. For a single Moon Daisy. Huh? They've got you running errands now. Them scions really know how to make the most of your talents, don't they? Sending the savior of Eorzea to the bleed market. Fine use of your time, that is. Seriously though, you better learn to say no, or they'll have you mucking out the chocobo stables next. Anyway, what was it you were here to pick up? The Moon Daisy, was it? Here then, take it. And tell that Edel ass I've got a wide selection of headwear in stock if she ever decides to replace that dowdy old mask of hers. God knows she needs to. I'm curious if she says that because she thinks it's unattractive, or if she says it because maybe it smells. The way she phrased it made it seem like the latter. Back to the weird tree. It's this way, right? Yeah. Rowena can be so annoying. She just will not take no for an answer. Every time I visit her, she insists I replace my visor with something more fashionable. And when I tell her I like it just fine the way it is, she says it again, and then again, and then again. It drives me crazy. What I mean to say is, I really appreciate you for doing this for me. So anyway, let's see it. I mean, is there a reason you and Eorzean hide their faces? When Brita loved these things, you know. I hope that somewhere, somehow, she knows I'm still thinking of her. Because I know what Eorzean's face looks like just because I've seen him in other trailers.
I'll never forget you, Moon. None of us will.
The song riseth to a crescendo.
Quit speaking in riddles, you. Oh. That's probably bad.
Is that what I think it is?
What else would it be? They look like they're going towards Bahamut.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah?
We have received grave tidings from Ishgard. Pray return to the Rising Stones at once.
maybe they just pass over it, but where did they come from? Alright. Lazy warping. Go! What about everybody else? Anything new? The rising stone feels somehow colder. Moonbreeder always carried with her such an abundance of warmth and cheer. Well, you say the same thing. Thanks again. I think I'm going to be alright. As I check on everyone else, knowing where the dragons are going. Priorities! My apologies for the interruption. I was deeply saddened to learn of Moonbreeder's passing. Her loss will be sorely felt. Alas, recent developments in Ishgard leave us little time to mourn. The envoy from Kurthus will soon arrive, and we must hasten to hear her report. Plot must keep moving. The envoy is here. I thank you for receiving me at such short notice. Time is of the essence, so I would forgo the usual pleasantries if I may. Sorry. Certainly. You come with news of the Dravanians. Aye, the dragons have begun their attack in earnest. The first wave reached the central highlands a short while ago, and the battle was joined soon thereafter. Sir Emmerich himself sailed forth with a contingent of temple knights and several companies of the noble house's finest. Though the beasts were ultimately forced into retreat, our victory, if such may be called, came at the cost of many of our own, too many. We will not withstand a second wave should the Dravanians renew their assault. You paint a grim picture, my lady. Is it reinforcements you seek, then? We do. Though it pricks at our pride, it is plain that we cannot protect Ishgard with our ranks thus thinned by the Horde. Sir Emmerich would meet with you to discuss the possibility of enlisting your aid. Oh, so you won't come to anybody else's aid, but you're willing to ask for ours. Very well. I shall depart for Kurthus at once. I must warn you, however, that the involvement of the Crystal Braves is by no means assured. Our commitment to quelling the unrest in Ul'dah must take precedence. It is with such contingencies in mind that I make another request. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are known for sharing close ties with all three of the grand companies of Eorzea. Would you consent to plead our case to their leaders? Though I will gladly appeal to the grand companies on your behalf, I dare not promise a favorable reply, not after you guys have been complete hermits during our times of need. You need say no more. Considering our past dealings with the Eorzean Alliance, I can well imagine how our plea will be received. But the fate of Ishgard hangs in the balance. We must explore every avenue still open to us, no matter how unpromising. I see. Very well. I shall send the envoys to each of the allied nations, and have them present your request directly to the heads of the grand companies. In the event that your plea does receive a favorable answer, I know that any support is certain to be conditional. Demands will be made of Ishgard. That is only to be expected. Rest assured that I speak with Sir Emmerich's authority on this matter, and that our actions are fully sanctioned by the Holy See. Which brings me to my final request, a personal appeal to you, Warrior of Light. The Lord Commander much desires to speak with you, regardless of your follow's involvement. The fact you faced Midgard Sommer and survived. Anything you could share of your experience may yield us an advantage over our foe. He tiny now. Thank you. You wear the mantle of hero well. I wonder if I can actually tell people that he's attached to me. So it seems the road leads us both to Camp Dragonhead. Seek me out when you arrive. I mean, it probably wouldn't be smart to tell it to her because she'd probably just disembowel me. But, like, I feel eventually somebody needs to know that he's here. Also, I'm pretty sure when it showed the Holy See, wasn't an Ascian with him? Which means I feel like I'm being led into a trap. Okay. What's up with you guys killing your own? Oh, it's not. It's you. I feel like they're introducing so many plot threads towards the end here.
The sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. Only then will the cycle be broken.
It's gonna be one of those find out next time in Heaven's Word sort of scenarios, because there's no way they're wrapping all of this up.
Brothers and sisters of the heavens, we raise our voices and join you in the chorus. The sinner's feeble magics are undone. Come, claim your retribution.
I didn't know it had an orb on it. Well, I suppose it makes sense how they've never gotten in there before. How come only the Pope gets a magic barrier, huh? We had one of those to protect the townspeople this whole time. We've heard reports of a number of frontier settlers. 'Twould seem the dragons have come as far as Mordona. Okay, Camp Dragonhead. Where? Here. It seems I was swifter. You too, however, have arrived in time to spare, for our host is yet to make an appearance. Do the other citizens even know that the Pope had a barrier, though? The murmurings about camp tell of some manner of trouble at the Gates of Judgment. In the Lord Commander's absence, I suggest we visit a place and find out what's afoot. Because I feel like if they put it in one spot, they could totally use that same technology somewhere else. This isn't like Tales of Vesperia, where everybody that's a big enough city gets a barrier. And it's only that villains one by one start taking them out. Mark the nervous glances our friends share. The dragons have attacked, yes, but something else has occurred. Something unexpected. Let us question the knights ere we proceed. Heretic scum! How dare they meddle with our divine protections? I shall rid our nation of their blasphemy, even if it means cutting them down one by one. We need not fret over much. There are yet several layers of arcane protection that shield the city from invasion. Mother will be fine. When I laid eyes upon Lady Iceheart, I felt the marrow freeze within my bones. The Gates of Judgment are much more than mere doors. They are the outermost layer of Ishgard's magical wards. The outermost? If our first line of defense can be so easily shattered. 'Twould seem the heretic struck the first and most telling blow against Ishgard. Scions, we expected you at Camp Dragonhead. My apologies. We chanced to hear that there had been trouble at the gates, and thought it prudent to investigate the cause. Then you've learned of the heretic's treachery. Lady Ishard led a force of her followers against our defenders, and came close enough to dispel the first of our wards. But let us speak more of this back at camp. Sir Emmerich awaits you. feel like there should be at least one more, you know? It's one thing to have it at the Pope's, I understand, but also, like, right here at Camp Dragonhead, considering this is such a big fortress, wouldn't you also consider having one here? You know, where people actually fight? Lady Ishard has grown bold indeed if she should risk action against the city. Come, let us do what we bid and return to Camp Dragonhead. Lord Harshaphant will know where Sir Emmerich means to receive us. Actually, I'll be lazy. Is it in here? Yes. 'Tis reassuring indeed to behold the countenance of a friend when one's homeland teeters upon the very brink of disaster. Though a single misstep could send us plunging into the abyss, your heroic presence stokes the flames of courage within my heart. Ah, but you did not come to Dragonhead to listen to my prattling. The Lord Commander has arrived and would treat with you in the intercessory. Less dialogue anymore. Everybody's just like, go do the thing. Greetings, I shall show you inside. Yes. Ishgard's future hangs in the balance. If the city's salvation rests on your assistance, I cannot well withhold it. Even so, I mean to make Sir Emmerich sweat for his reinforcements. On this occasion, fated disinterest may serve the cause of Eorzean unity better than naked philanthropy. Come, let us find out what concessions the Holy See is willing to make. I thank you for coming with such haste, and apologize for my absence. Suffice it to say, Lady Ishard and her heretics have much to answer for. The same goes true with the barriers in Final Fantasy XII. They covered pretty much the entirety of the city. Yes, but we recently returned from the Gates of Judgment ourselves. Given the circumstances, we quite understand if you would prefer to postpone our appointed audience. On the contrary, Master Alphino, I think it more important than ever that this meeting take place. Rest assured, I shall return to my post on Ishgard's walls the moment our business is concluded. Before we move to the subject of reinforcements, however, I would introduce you to a close friend and stalwart ally, Astidian. Leave me it. You mean reintroduce? I see, you got that dragon funk out of your system. May I present to you Ishgard's Azure Dragoon. This is another reason I wanted to get the job quest done first, as I was told I would meet people later on, and otherwise it would not make sense. An impressive title, though I confess, I know precious little of the Order of Dragoons. I am right here, Alphino. They are formidable warriors all, yet even amongst such masters of the lance, Astidian is without equal. I am right here! He, out of all the warriors of Ishgard, was chosen to wield the power of dragons, and must thus contend with any Dravanian. I am right here. You flatter me overmuch, Lord Commander. If I was without equal, I am no longer, as my fellow Azure Dragoon here will attest. Thank you! Be at ease, Bryn. I did not come to challenge you this day. Again. So we're not going to address you just bounding off into the abyss? Well, now that we've all been introduced, let us proceed to this matter at hand. I would share with you what we have learned of Iceheart's design, as confessed by the heretics taken captor after the assault on the gates. 'Twould seem that Lady Iceheart and the Dravanian share a common goal, the reclamation of Nidhogg's stolen eye. Nidhogg, one of the 7 great worms. His name features prominently in your nation's history. Though once defeated by the hero Haldrath, the beast is said to have terrorized Kurthus since Ishgard's founding. Aye. Many are the scars our walls bear from Nidhogg's relentless efforts to raise the city. The trophy Haldrith plucked from the bested worm's skull, known simply as the Eye, is the treasured relic of Ishgard, and one possessed of untold power. Should it ever be returned to Nidhogg, the dead creature would be restored to the height of his strength, and then no wall or ward we could erect would be stout enough to deny him. My vengeful son hath waged war against Ishgard for thousands of years. No mortal mind could comprehend the depths of his rancor. You staying super invisible in here, aren't you? The Eye itself is secreted deep within the vault. It is kept under heavy guard, surrounded at all times by men and women who have proven their loyalty to the Holy See. But those stout walls and sharp blades may suffice to discourage the heretics. The dragons are another matter. There are individuals within the Dravanian horde who seem an entire company of knights would labor to repel, to say nothing of Nidhogg himself. It's also the fact that they're not immune to tempering no matter how loyal they are to you. Nor does age rob them of their strength. Though the endless march of years the dragons endure, patient, calculating, inexorable, you must understand these creatures do not share our perception of time. And that is essentially true of the great worms. They who spend centuries in slumber, only to wake and resume their campaign as if mere hours had passed. It's been 20 years since Nidhogg last darkened our skies. 20 years for him to gather his strength, and for us to bolster our defenses. That's probably nothing to him, though. And now, just as he seems primed to return, the heretics strike at the gates. Yeah, you said it was during, like, one of the third eras? How many hundreds or thousands of years even is that? You believe that Lady Iceheart is in league with the creature, then? Yeah, and true, if someone stole your eye, you probably would be pretty pissed about it, yeah. Of that we cannot be certain, though we know the heretics covet the eye. We have been unable to determine their plans for it. Such questions aside, we needs address the ragged hole their mistress has seen fit to rend in Ishgard's protections. 'Tis a weakness the Dravanians are not likely to leave untested. That orb she used wouldn't happen to be the other eye, would it? So it would seem. You have described your plight in admirable detail, Lord Commander, yet I cannot help but wonder at your candor. Why share such sensitive information with us? I shall speak plain. Ishgard has need of allies, and I would have you bolster our lines for the readiness of the coming battle against the dragons. I mean, I'm assuming if he's big, the eye itself has to be pretty big. This much I expected. Unlike our arrangement concerning the Keeper of the Lake, however, only you stand to benefit from assistance in this matter. I fail to see why we should intervene in a conflict which concerns only Ishgard and Dravania. Maybe they're like pasty eyes, too. The pasties, their eyes turn into crystal? I think I have some in my bag, even. I wonder if dragon eyes do the same. When the Eorzean Alliance requested Ishgard's assistance during Operation Archon, you refused us. Does it not seem grossly unjust to demand that we now risk our lives in your private war? I make no attempt to defend my country's conduct. I only ask that you consider what would follow were Ishgard to fall. Having razed our city to the ground, the Horde would have little cause to linger, and would most likely return to their lairs in Dravania. Soon thereafter, the ruins of Kurthus would be buried in snow, and the land would become the sole provenance of beast and beastmen. You mean they'd finally have a territory back to themselves, without us interfering and slaughtering them for existing on their continent? Until the Garlean's arrival, that is. For you may be certain that the Empire would not hesitate to claim Kurthus. They would not even have to draw steel. An Imperial province sharing a border with Mordona. 7 hells. Very well. I will assist you in repelling the dragons. The roar of a great worm may have shaken the firmament, but we of Eorzea will not abandon our Ishgardian brothers to face the coming horde alone. Nor did I ever think you would. Now upon the matter of the roar. Allow me, Sir Emmerich. Through the power of the Eye, I have become the vessel of Nidhogg's strength. His essence has stolen into my very blood. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Like, you just suddenly come back and you're better now. Fear not. I'm in full control of my faculties, I assure you, says every tempered ever. And the eye itself is of no relevance to this tale. It is not essential that I bear it with me wherever I go. Its lingering influence does, however, allow me to hear Nidhogg's voice. Then the worm who roared was Nidhogg, aye. He means to hurl his horde against Danafin's collar, I almost said coffer, and shatter the remaining wards that protect the city. There could be no doubt. The worm has summoned his minions to war. I wonder if all dragons can speak telepathically then. So maybe little dude can hear Nidhogg talking. Grab tiny dragon, shake furiously for answers. Nidhogg, he is the source of our suffering. If we do not fell the worm, the endless clashes count for naught. I'm painfully aware of the hypocrisy of our request, and the self-inflicted nature of the predicament. But should it serve to deliver my people from their unkind fate, gladly shall I bow my head and beg for aid. I expect, nay, welcome, the coming storm of scorn and disdain. I don't care how crazy it makes me look. Though the circumstances are far from ideal, this desperate endeavor will at least provide us an opportunity to bring the sister states of Eorzea together in common cause. Sir Emmerich was more ruthless in his negotiations than I had anticipated. I suppose one must give no quarter when one's home is at stake. But did you see the look on his face when he formally requested our assistance? Though the Lord Commander has long campaigned for Ishgard to open its gates to outsiders, I suspect the softening of the Holy See's attitude towards the foreign cooperation serves as something of a bittersweet victory. The days ahead promise to be interesting indeed. Maybe we can get Midgard Sommer to change his mind. Maybe instead of me being stuck with him, we can make it so that he's stuck with me. Do as I say, or else. If we're to aid the Ishgardians in this war of theirs, preparations will have to be made and soon. Before proceeding, however, we must needs return to the Rising Stones and make a report to the antecedent. Nidhogg, he is the source of our suffering. If we don't fill the worm, the endless clashes would be for naught. Okay. Rising Stones. Again. Justinian is Batman? In what way? I know virtually nothing of Batman.
Alfino, it is good to see you. Tell me, what have you learned?
Pray summon the others. Everyone must hear my report.
Then what the heck was I talking about before you got in? The weather?
So this was all but a taste of what's to come.
Indeed. The main host advances upon Ishgard as we speak.
Whose vaunted defenses have been nullified.
Shorn of its wards, the city will bear the full force of Nidhogg's fury.
All those people.
Alfino is right. The Dravanians cannot be allowed to prevail. If Ishgard falls, all of Eorzea will suffer the consequences.
Then you agree that we have no choice but to intervene. For the good of the realm, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn and the Crystal Braves must join the defense of Ishgard.
Oh, you mean his habit of appearing and then immediately just disappearing? I guess. I mean, that's kind of what he did. He just becomes corrupted, saunters off, returns with zero explanation. And it's just like, nope, I'm good, don't worry about it. But you totally got possessed and lost your mind and went homicidal. Don't worry about it. That was last week. Estinian, what the fuck?
Let there be no ambiguity about what has been proposed. We would be directly intervening in the war. But if all here believe the cause to be just, then to war we shall go. The path we now embark upon is perilous, but I pray you will walk with us to the end. For those we have lost, for those we can yet save.
Then it is settled. I shall inform the Council of our intentions, and request that they contribute their own forces to the defense of Ishgard.
I feel like Kurthus has a lot to answer for, though. Like, why they're doing all this. Why the dragons are attacking. Because we've met Shiva. It doesn't really seem to be because they're tempered by Shiva. And I doubt these ones even met Bahamut. I don't know. Volunteer dragon slayers. I have bid the Archons travel to their assigned nations. Should the members of the Alliance agree to pledge Grand Company soldiers to Ishgard's cause, our comrades will be on hand to act as intermediaries for the duration of the conflict. The small matter of persuading the Alliance leaders to grant such support I leave to Alfino. For you, my friend, a different task awaits. I would have you reach out to your fellow adventurers and gather what allies you may for the upcoming siege. I would also have you consider the matter of our own security. Revenant's Toll is but a short flight from the snow fields of Kurthus. It is not unimaginable that the fight may spill across the border. Pray brief Slaffborn on the brewing conflict and discuss potential contingencies. The frontier settlers must be prepared for aught that might wing its way over our walls. I only hope that such precautions prove unnecessary. Before you leave, might I suggest that you have Tataru accompany you? She has a talent for administration and a firm grasp of the practical challenges we may encounter. Because Kurthus has turned it into a religious crusade, but they've never given a good explanation outside of that. 'Tis impossible to predict how many will rally to Ishgard to call for reinforcements. I do not envy those responsible for planning the city's defense. So far it's been, dragons bad, why? Religion says so! Okay, but why? We're rather close to Kurthus, aren't we? We'd best see to our own defenses and take stock of our supplies. Oh, and we'll also need to have beds and bandages laid out just in case. Because they're not attacking the other nations, they're going after Kurthus. Specifically. Meaning, Kurthus specifically did something, or has something. If it was just about eliminating mankind, they'd be everywhere, wouldn't they? Kurthus, what did you do? A good receptionist is ready for any eventuality. Let's go. I have 101 things to discuss with Slaffborn. And she's off. I appreciate the warning. If war is coming to Kurthus, then the toll must be made ready. I'll increase the number of patrols and lookouts immediately. I'll go see about finding room for an infirmary, as well as temporary housing for victims over the conflict. Ishgard has done well by us in the past, and would return the favor. But as for the rounding up of volunteers for fighting itself, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. I will not send my fellow guild members to die on Ishgardian soil, and I'm certain headquarters will stay the same. There will be no official Adventurers Guild presence at the siege. That said, each adventurer is of course free to do as he or she will. I have a word with some of my more capable colleagues on your behalf, and you might try your luck here in Revenant's Toll. I dare say there are a few stout souls about town who will answer to your call to arms. I mean, have you seen a religious crusade with a good reason? Why do you think I jokingly call them the Wyvern Inquisition? Let's get started, shall we? We have a town to rouse. Spare me your talk of glory and fame. I'm not in the habit of volunteering for lost causes. I survived this long by trusting my instincts, and my instincts tell me to stay away from Ishgard. You seem like something's troubling you. You kind of side-eyed our colleagues as they walked out. Ishgard sounds like she's in a right mess, but that ain't what I want to talk about with you. I need you to cast your mind back to that scuffle with the Empire out by the processing plant. A lad from Little Alamigo by the name of Wilrid was there with the fort that day, and I want to know if you've seen him since. Have you? God damn it, I feared as much. No one's bloody seen him. It's like the ground opened up and swallowed him whole. But that ain't all. Around the time Wilrid stopped returning for his duty, them black market weapons went missing from the vault in Ul'dah. So now, of course, half the Braves suspect the lad of making off with the goods. Folks like to believe our company a disciplined fighting force, but as you and me both know, there's no more motley collection of mercenaries, adventurers, and Grand Company veterans. The only thing that binds us together is some vague oath about fighting for the freedom of all, and that and steady pay. Now, compared to most other in this crew, Wildred's a fresh-faced novice, a bleeding whelp amongst wolves. But the boy got passion. When he talked about being a guardian of Eorzea, he bloody well meant it. A lad like him wouldn't rob us blind and bugger off like that. He ain't the type. And then, as this is just between you and me, mind, there's the fact that the lad wanted to tell me about something weird that he noticed in the ledgers. Something about the Braves' numbers not adding up. There's a villain at the end of this trail I've stumbled upon, and I'll bet my good eye it ain't young Wildred. Any road. You've got a war to wage, so I'll let you get on. I just thought someone should know. I'll be seeing you. The fact that he gave the other two the stink eye, does he maybe already feel like there's others involved in it? Because he gave them a pretty ferocious side eye while they were leaving. So Ishgard seeks sellswords to bolster its ranks, eh? Though I'm not sure I like the sound of the siege, the nobles will surely be generous with the rewards. Ah, but I have pledged myself to the guard Revenant's Toll. Modest work though it is, I am loath to break the terms of my contract. What to do, what to do. You could just say no, man. You don't have to make it weird. Oop. Where is... inside, maybe? Either up top or inside. Up top. Sell my blade to the Ishgardians? Well, them dragons are a fearsome lot, but I'd say my fair share of the coin was good. I worked for one of them knights before, you know. Watched me like a bloody hawk, she did. Still, I put up with worse than for a heavy purse. He did say there's units where the one that's most of the money is going to. Maybe, but his reaction was more emotional than anything. It was less of a, ooh, look at me, I'm giving a speech to be a good person, and more of a, where the fuck is my friend? Volunteer my services in defense of Ishgard? I think not. Dragons claimed the lives of every one of my brothers. I do not mean to offer them mine. 'Twas to escape such a fate that I took up the mantle of adventurer in the first place. I would sooner die in the pursuit of fortune than huddled behind an icy wall. Oh, damn it. I didn't hear the whistle, so I didn't realize I'd gotten on it.
So there you are. Did you sway any hearts?
Nope.
1 or 2, eh? Well,
I count that as 1 or 2.
well, added to mine, that makes 3 or 4, not including Slafford's friends. We won't have the largest company in the army. I'd say 1 Revenant Tolls veteran is worth a dozen clanking knights at least. Oh, I've been so cut off with recruiting that I almost forgot. There's been word from Elfino. Apparently, the Alliance leaders are convening in Ul'dah to discuss Ishgard's plight. And they've requested your presence, as usual. Anyway, you'd best make your way to Ul'dah, or you'll be late. Alfino said that he would meet you at the Royal Promenade.
If Kurthus is so wanting for men, Ul'dah has quite a few that would love a home. Just saying. It's cold as balls, but at least there's soup. My apologies for calling you away from your tasks. I had hoped to proceed with the negotiations 1 leader at a time, but it seems my urgent requests for an audience have prompted a gathering at the council. Needless to say, I felt obliged to attend. The Alliance leaders are already settled within. Let's join them, shall we? Maybe if they actually gave a shit about getting involved, they would know that.
We are well aware of Ishgard's dilemma, and we agree with your assessment.
Then I trust there are no objections to the Crystal Braves' intervention.
Ul'dah has none.
Gridania does not object.
The Crystal Braves are yours to command, Alfino. Do what you will. We shall pray for your success.
It was my hope that you would offer more substantial aid than prayer. I know it is within your means.
Do not presume that you have knowledge of our every concern. The Garleans and the Beast Tribes are but 2 of many. We are not in a position to contribute greatly to the defense of Ishgard, not when our own homes are still under siege.
We dare not leave our interests in Cartano undefended as well. Teleji Adeleji and his ilk would seize control of the territories in our absence.
The enemy is at their gates, and you would cower behind yours?
No one is cowering, boy. We will offer what support we can.
Aye, support. A handful of men and no more.
Would that we could commit more than a token force to this cause. Yet there are others to whom you might turn. The free companies ever want for work.
The ones that constantly light up my inbox?
Free companies. They're not like to turn you down.
I beg your pardon? You would entrust the survival of Ishgard to sell swords?
To role players?
Crises like these are the very reason why this alliance was formed. It is our duty to aid our fellow man.
My duty is to my country and my people. If you expect us to place the welfare of a foreign power above our own, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Lest you doubt, Limsa comes first, then the Alliance, and finally, circumstances permitting, Ishgard and the rest. If you cannot understand so simple a concept, then you have no place at this table.
Forgive me, Admiral. I was careless in my choice of words.
I suggest you assemble a party of elite adventurers, assuming you haven't already. Your fellows served us well during Operation Archon. I dare say they will do so again.
Oh, I'm not dissing Alfino for that. I'm just making a funny joke that most free companies in Final Fantasy XIV are more about roleplay than
if I may,
anything else.
I wish to propose a redistribution of forces. If we entrust the security of Ul'dah to the Brass Blades for a time, we can dispatch a larger force to Ishgard.
If the party finder is anything to go by.
Your Grace?
Yes. Yes, of course. Do what you will.
Is Her Grace not feeling well?
To the best of my knowledge, Her Grace is in perfect health.
I see. Carry on.
She probably also doesn't want to get too involved in the conflict if she's going to dissolve her entire empire. Because who knows how that will go. Oh, you're more saying it because people get annoyed at how he acts when he's acting his age. Yeah, true. Once again, I owe you an apology. It seems you've been conscripted into leading a contingent of adventurers on yet another mission of inestimable danger. I gotta ask too, do different fantasy races in this game have different lifespans, or are they all roughly 75 to 100? But I fear we have been left with little alternative. We cannot well abandon Lord Haurchefant and Sir Emmerich to their fate. We must abide by the Council's decision, as short-sighted as it is, and strive to fulfill our roles as Eorzea's guardians. Captain Ilberd, what news? The assault has begun? We've but this moment concluded our audience with the Alliance leaders. Move our forces into position. Your unit will join House Duriender at the Steel Vigil. Man the cannons alongside the knights, and thin the Dravanian horde ere they descend upon Ishgard. I will join you as soon as I am able. I know it says Dravanian, but it's hard for me to say, not say it as Dravanian because of my accident. Ren, I would have you and your adventurer allies bolster their defenses at the Steps of Faith. Report first to Sir Marcellain in the Gates of Judgment, and he will direct you to where you're needed most. May the gods grant us victory. You think they all roughly have the same lifespan? Okay, I was assuming as such. I didn't know if it had Lord of the Ring rules, though. Where, like, elves, for example, live hundreds of years longer. But yeah, Kurthus is like, we desperately need people, and Little Alamigo is like, we're desperate to live anywhere. But Ul'dah is simultaneously like, no, we want these. We don't want these, but you can't have them. But meanwhile, Kurthus probably doesn't even know they're looking for new homes. What a mess! Well, Da definitely has that attitude of, we don't want you in our city, but also you're not allowed to leave. You're the appointed captain of the Sellsword contingent? Then welcome. There's no shortage of blade work to be done. As we speak, Dravanian skirmishing parties are harrying positions across the Central Highlands. I've assisted the Crystal Braves to your fellow adventurers to contain these scattered attacks, and for the present, I would have you join them. This is, of course, merely a precursor to the assault on Ishgard proper. The wily serpents seek to divide and confuse our forces, but we will not be so easily drawn out of position. The Temple Knights will remain on the steps of faith and continue our preparations. When the Horde arrives in force, they shall face a wall of Ishgardian steel. Report back to me once the advanced skirmishes are slain. And Kurthus has the resources, too, because they're constantly donating resources to everybody else. Kind of weird, considering, you know, ice and snow field, but I don't know where they're getting it, but apparently they have it. You guys got some, like, secret underground greenhouses, or what? Are you just, like, really, really prolific sheep herders? What do your sheep eat? Wood wagons. There's industries like blacksmiths and the like. There is, but that doesn't make food. I'm wondering where Kurthus gets its food. It's been donating food. I know some vegetables can handle the cold relatively well, but even then they still have growing seasons. Do people wail up here? What are you doing? Ooh. Texture go bye-bye. Ignore the liquid wall. How far away am I? Is there like a huge altitude shift here? What in the actual... I guess so. Didn't really realize how much of a hill this was. It wasn't always Winter Wonderland. It wasn't. But I doubt most of that food is coming from preserves. Otherwise, they'd be really stingy about it. Like, oh, we literally cannot grow more food. But instead, they're like, here's all this free food. What are you eating? I must know. What is Ishgard growing and eating today? What are they cooking? There is cloudfish! This weird-ass universe has cloudfish. Are you guys cloud fishing? Because some of these zones, I swear to God... Not here, but... Can't use it at this location, but there's some. I swear. I promise, there's certain zones you cast off into the abyss. And you will actually catch a fish. Am I in the wrong? I'm not supposed to be here. Nobody saw me standing on the wrong end of the counter? Please don't arrest me, officer. Yeah, some of these you can... Probably not here, but certain zones. Yeah, I know. I know. They don't show all of them. Yeah, like right there. There's a sea of clouds that I could do. That one I think is maybe a river. Can't tell. But if I wanted to, I could fish in the sky. What news, adventurer? The reinforcements? Decimated, you say? Dravanian devils. Damn their scaly hides. Hey! Hold fast to your grief and fury. We will avenge the deaths of your fellows in the battle to come. Fish can fly? That's somewhat nebulous. Some fish can really catch some airtime, but they can't fly in the sense of, like, flap their wings to gain altitude like a bird. More like they jump out of the water and they glide for a really long distance, like a paper airplane. Ere you commit yourself to the siege, you should know that you are tasked with the defending. Beyond the gate's judgment lies the Steps of Faith, a great bridge of stone that leads directly into the city of Ishgard. More than simply a means to cross the Sea of Clouds, the bridge serves as a foundation for the arcane wards that form the barrier we called Danafin's Collar. Alas, in dispelling the barrier's outermost layer, that thrice-damned witch Ishard stripped the bridge of its protection, and thus the dragons are now able to land unhindered on the Steps of Faith. Maybe we're doing like Final Fantasy X rules, or X-2 rules. They have fish enemies that for whatever reason are no longer in the water. Fantasy fish, maybe? Should the Dravanians succeed in destroying the remainder of the wards, the winged devils will be free to swarm within the city itself. Needless to say, we cannot suffer that to happen. I shall be at our task of defenders to prevent any harm from coming to those parts of the bridge wherein the wards are sealed. 3 yet remain, and we have dispatched our forces accordingly. I would ask you and your comrades to accompany our defenders at the outermost ward. I should hope that includes us as well, yes? Although Final Fantasy X-2 did it more because they didn't want to program any more underwater stuff. So they just reused assets in different places and are like, fuck it, flying fish! Scions of the Seventh Dawn. We could not well stand idly by while the Horde threatens the good people of Ishgard. Indeed, to do otherwise would go against what Master Louis Waugh has taught us. As for where we may be of most assistance, I think it prudent we divide into 2 groups. Yida and I will join the rear guard. For mages, we stay in the back. Right, if the dragon should reach us, we'll be sure to give them what for. Thank you, all of you. Pray speak with me again when your preparations are complete, and together we shall stand against the Horde. The fish do have lore, and it might explain one of their descriptions. Oh, do one of the flying fish have descriptions? Dang. Fishing log. Kurthus. Nope, that ain't it. Western Highlands, what? Maybe it's a section I can't get to yet. I'm trying to see... Not there. Kurthus River, undiscovered. Sea of Clouds. Jellyfish. Cloud jellyfish aimlessly drift about the sea of clouds, tentacles spread out below them, searching for the small birds on which they feed. Weird! And cloud cutters. The swiftest inhabitants of the Sea of Clouds, cutters will fly in a straight line, direction for Malms, before quickly turning at some unthinkable angle and darting off in another direction. Yeah, I wonder if more would eventually have more Sea of Clouds lore. Any more at the Dragonhead latrines? No, these ones are actually in water. Would that we could stay with certainty that none of the wards will be breached, but our enemy is resourceful. No matter what happens, we cannot let them cross the bridge. The dragons may never again have such an opportunity to strike at the Holy See. You can be certain that they will not squander it, so we must be vigilant. I'm told by First Commander of the Temple Knights, Lucia, will be leading their forces. By all accounts, it would seem that we are in quite capable hands. No, I wasn't talking about Yida. I was talking about Yustola. I thought he said he and Yustola. My bad. Yeah, Yida, you're a monk. You don't have any ranged attacks. You're gonna have to come stand up with me. I trust you're ready then? Good. Come, let us make for the battlefield. Just in case. I want something that can take a smacking. God, they're big. And to think, Bahamut's bigger. This is a solo duty, it was once a trial. Yeah, the fact I couldn't tell where it was leading me, there was something like, maybe don't be DPS for this. We claim victory this day, our Ishgard falls. Accept the fury into your heart and defend this bridge with your life's blood. Okay, what's the thing swirling around me, though? Protect the Holy See of Ishgard. Alright. You guys are not tanks. Assuming I have to take all this. Maybe it got too crazy with the NPCs. Wait, if this is just story only, that means I can probably only do it as New Game Plus. Barrier strength is going down? What's causing it to decrease? Can I not? I can't target these. These are not real enemies. You! I can finally fight one of these. And not need turrets. They reworked the whole encounter, did they? I wonder what it used to be like then. Amir. Craftman. Desynthesis. Caviar. I cannot move. Are we, like, gonna do a thing here? Everybody's running away. I should probably... Okay, what does this mean? Everybody's putting a shield up. Whoa! There we go. It's kind of fun. You can recognize people, though. Probably doesn't matter where I stand, it's too big to make a difference. Probably just means it pushes us back. I don't know if I need to worry about anything else though. Damn it. I'm probably gonna take this. Yep. Couldn't get out of the way. Burns! And the barrier kinda just went bye-bye. The first ward has been breached. Look, honey, I'm trying to kill it. Fall back and regroup. The battle is not yet lost. Okay, everybody's moving. Can't target anything. Woo! I'm probably in the no-no zone here. Fall back and help the others guard the ward. I mean, go this way, I think. It's a good thing I can't count. They mean to defeat us by numbers. I wonder why they reworked it, though. I'm aware I could always look at YouTube, it's just... it doesn't tell me why. Can I not? Pushing us back again. Everybody's just kind of holding here. Must defeat the champion at all costs. Too bad their champion's freaking huge. Where did they get this? Where were they keeping it? What's it eat? This one usually goes sideways. When he flame breaths, it takes out the barrier. Second ward has fallen and he's not even at half health. This is probably where immunity kicks in, so let's just go. Makes for a very cinematic fight, though. You and I have matters here we need at hand. You must go and see to the final ward. That means one more fire breath and he kills us all. Basically, you just wailed on him for 30 minutes until he died. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing now. Put the eyes on me. I don't know if I'm fully taking their attention. Also, this one very specifically, this Horde Shield Dragon. This is from 12. This is a design ripped straight out of 12. I wonder if this one means form a line, or if it just pushes you back. Not sure. I'm assuming too I can actually stand back here. I can, for some reason. Our enemy is not without weakness. Keep it up. Alright, let me get to the side. Fiery boy's doing his thing. Means the barrier's gonna go bye-bye. I literally can't kill it fast enough. The final ward is weakened. Hurry, we must end it now. I don't know if we can, sweetie. Solid target. Let me target the Vishap. I'm standing at one of the three. It's gonna hit me regardless. Do we have any healers back here? Because I'm about to bite it. We are the shield that keeps the Holy See, even if it should pass and cost us everything. They cannot be suffered. I don't have time to read and fight, sweetie. Defeat the Vishap before the knights lose their resolve. I am trying. Damn this infernal heat. Oh my gosh, you are actually guarding. How are you not being cooked? Somebody limit break. I know we don't have it, but... Almost there. Paladin's a tad more paladin than me, I suppose. The dragons, they're withdrawing. Victory is ours. Some of you look a tad more detailed, like you're supposed to be main characters. One of Nidhogg's greatest champions is slain. The Horde will not soon recover from this blow. What of you, Nidhogg? Why did you not join your minions and make of this battle a slaughter? Have you grown so fond of the stench of your lair? Mayhap you preferred to have your allies fight your battles for you. You have a girl to do your bidding now, do you not? No matter, I shall slay Iceheart and all the rest. But I yearn to spill the blood of a greater worm, Nidhogg, and only your death will sate my lance. Also, if I've listened close to the end of the you would have heard the new VAs. I thought I did hear somebody, like Y'Stola, talking, but it sounded a little different. I don't know. It was a very close victory, but a victory nonetheless. I think we've earned a bit of a brief respite.
'Tis a rare opportunity to find oneself confronted with so terrible a foe. Rarer still to emerge victorious. I should hope we need not contend with more of Nidhogg's champions. Oh, it was exhausting.
Bren, the dragons are rousted, lest you wonder. The fighting at the Steel Vigil was also fierce, but the Crystal Braves were not found wanting. Commander Levalure, Bren, true to your word, you've arrived to aid us in our hour of need. On behalf of the Holy See and the people of Ishgard, I offer you my humble thanks. Though I would stay and lavish you with well-deserved praise, I fear I must away to oversee the aftermath of the siege. Not all of the dragons are fled, and there are yet wounded to be carried from the field. Pray let us meet anon, that I might express my thanks with the proper courtesy. We have indeed achieved a victory of singular importance. With the Dravanian horde thus weakened and scattered, the threat to Ishgard has been greatly diminished. And mayhap equally sufficient, the Holy See must now recognize the necessity of cooperation with foreign powers. Long have they barred their gates against the outside world, but I'm confident that the day will soon come when Ishgard proclaims itself a member of the Eorzean Alliance once more. Much have we sacrificed in our struggle against dragons and primals, the Ascians and the Empire, but step by unfaltering step we march ever nearer to our goal. And as ever, the journey is made with you in the van. Me in the van? The victory you have won this day gives us greater hope for the morrow. 'Tis a hope that shall sustain us in days to come, and bear us past the many evils that yet seek to hinder our progress. Yet you have done well, my friend, and I, for one, would take a moment to savor the enormity of our achievement. The demands of duty, however, allow me little time for levity. I must accompany Captain Ilbert back to Ul'dah, and resign those braves whose squad suffered heavy losses. I know Vanguard, but just the way he said it with, like, me in the back of the van makes me sound like I'm literally riding in a... You, my friend, have earned a rest at the Rising Stones. Pray return to Revenant's Toll, and share your tale with Minfilia in person. I just have, like, Mystery Machine imagery of all the Scions now as a result. We will see to informing the other nations of what took place here. Do be sure to give your regards to Minfilia. To do leveling and some other stuff. I want experience to go to other classes. Other ones are still a tad squishy. Didn't want to step into that because I felt that was going to be bigger. Just because you're leading me somewhere that has no exit on the other side. They really are a bunch of meddling people too.
I am faced by a merciless mountain of administrative chores. Thankfully, this one battle I am well equipped to fight.
After what I just went through to Taru, I'll take some chores too.
So Minfilia has committed the Scions to Ishgard's cause, has she? Though she makes her pronouncements with unshakable confidence, I can only imagine how agonizing it was for her to arrive at this decision. So many lives at stake. Just Tigiri? Nobody else? The threat of war sows panic and confusion, and routine tasks can offer a calming stability, being sure the larder is properly stocked, for instance. And I would have gotten away for it too if it wasn't you Scions and your meddling receptionist. Bren, welcome back. Alphino sent word of the siege, and of course of the role you played in ending it. Your deeds never cease to amaze me. Thank you. Quick arm. Both, technically. Oh, did I accidentally cancel out? Yes, I did. Broken bridges. I guess you could say they were burned bridges. You must be weary, and now may very well be your only chance to... No, it's not. Antecedent! Rest? What's that? Oh, hello. Yes, hello to you too, Tataru. A messenger from Ul'dah arrived with a missive for you. The royal seal. Curious indeed. Ah, an invitation. On behalf of the Council of the Eorzean Alliance, Her Royal Majesty Nanamo, Ul Nanamo, invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to attend a feast at the Royal Palace of Ul'dah in honor of Ishgard's recent victory. I guess that counts as rest if I'm getting a whole buffet of rich people food. It would seem we are to be recognized for our part in lifting the siege, you for your valiant efforts as commander of the adventurers' contingent, and the Archons for their earnest attempts to rouse the city-states. Truly, I find it strange that the Alliance leaders should think themselves deserving of a place of such celebration. All three refused to deploy their standing armies, preferring to send hastily assembled companies of sellswords, many of whom perished ere the siege began. Are they truly so brazen as to seek to share in the glory of your triumph? Yeah, you have a point, Manfilia. But mayhap they simply seek to pretext to meet with the Ishgardians while the mood is yet jubilant. Such an occasion would present a fine opportunity to press for Ishgard's return to the Eorzean Alliance. We have scarce had time to mourn Moonbrida, and I, for one, am in no mood to carouse, but I suppose we must put away our grief for the good of the realm. Though you were promised rest, I fear I must insist that you also attend. I don't need to wear my fancy shoes again. I don't even know if I still have those. It would be a strange celebration indeed for the victorious hero were not present. Pray content yourself with the thought that such occasions may bring about momentous change, and this without recourse to bloodshed. Tataru, if you would do me the favor of contacting the rest of the Scions. Of course, Antecedent. And please let me know if there's anything else I can do. Ugh. Please let me know, but also please don't, because she's clearly tired. Curious, I've never known Tataru to sigh at such requests. Could aught be amiss? Tataru's troubled, I'm certain of it. Would you mind speaking with her? I fear any concern I show will be met with stoic denials. She's not here. Overworked as of late? Something else the matter? Tataru is conspicuous by her absence. Tataru, I believe she just stepped outside. Now that I think on it, she did seem rather preoccupied. The others are also back. In Doma, fidelity is a high-prized virtue. Perhaps it's a difference in culture, but this situation lies outside my comprehension. A primal shackles its faith with the bonds of eternal devotion, but I fear the power Thancred wields over his admirers is rather more fickle, especially when each realizes she is not the sole object of his affection. Oh, are we watching? Are we all
critiquing Thancred's aromantic life here. Ladies, please, this is no way to... Oh, hello, Bren. I was just entertaining some friends. Oh gods. What happened? Watch your tongue. Well, I'm the one who procured the rarest of ores. What is going on? What did you do? Why are they all here simultaneously? Oh gods, make it stop. My sides are about to burst. Oh, we do have more pressing matters to attend to. Thancred's having his, I went for every romantic social link moment. Ooh, what was that? Sounds like somebody lit off a small firework in the middle of the road. Where is she? Kataru! There you are. Oh, Bren, it's you. I didn't mean to worry anyone. It's nothing really. Well, it's not nothing exactly, but it feels like nothing compared to the towering trials you and the others face every day. And that's why I should probably talk to Minfilia before things get any worse. Oh, you always know what to say. I'm glad we had this little chat. But if it was a firework, who's setting off fireworks in the frickin' rain? At 5:30 in the afternoon. Weird-ass neighbors, I swear. Would my doorbell cam like to load, please? Thank you. I'm running into a wall because I'm not actually looking ahead. Don't see anything. My mind's made up. Crazy people indeed, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately don't have the best of neighbors. And they do weird shit all the time. Had to repair the roof last year, which is a part of the reason I also couldn't stream Genshin, and why I'm behind is because they blew a hole in the roof with a firework. An illegal firework. Hoping that does not happen again. Yes, Tataru, you have my undivided attention. I've been hesitant to broach the subject, what with all the recent excitement, but Bren has made me realize there's no time like the present, and time is what I'm here to ask you for. I'm not sure I understand. If you wish to be excused from your duties for the time, then you have certainly earned the rest. But I suspect that lying abed is far from your intent. You know me too well, antecedent. There is, in fact, something I've been wanting to try my hand at. Along with the adventurers and the Crystal Braves, the Scions are constantly being thrown into dangerous battles and deadly predicaments. Even the Hoary Boulder and Cotalant have been promoted from guard duty to fill our need for competent warriors. And so it seems only right that I too shall acquire the power to defend myself, and others. Most importantly, when I return, I shall be both your receptionist and your bodyguard. I did say we needed one, so I guess she was listening to me. She overheard my complaints. Whoa, hey! That's the first time I've almost been knocked to the ground by a Lalafell. I've never seen Miss Tataru so determined. Has aught befell what I might help, antecedent? Not at present, thank you. Was there something you would like to ask of me? Oh yes, pray excuse my distraction. An adventurer who wants to join us for escort duty was injured while on patrol. And I fear we cannot properly defend the scholars entrusted to our protection without the aid of at least one more guard. Therefore I humbly request another adventurer, of the capable kind, of course, be assigned to our party. Very well. I shall consider the potential candidates and provide you with a replacement as soon as I am able. My thanks, antecedent. I take my leave of you. Two? Minfilia is at a loss for words. Where we're needed. With regret and desperation. One doesn't go away if I do the other, does it? Because I don't want to accidentally miss out on a quest. I would assume not, since they're MSQ. Petit Mouse Nature. For now, I'll probably just take the top one then. An unexpected ambition. The power to defend oneself. Stotaru has ever been full of surprises. Now that I think on it, I do recall Urianger mentioning that she had developed an interest in Arcanima. Mayhap she hopes to gain admittance to the Arcanist Guild in Limsa. Yes, that will be the way of it. Would you be so kind to journey to the guild and see that all is well? It is doubtless unwarranted, but I'm sure I am not alone in my concern for her safety. And while we're here... I wonder, do you perchance recall the commitment I made to furnish Hoary Boulder with a capable adventurer? Well, I'm sorry to say that I have yet been unable to do so. Now I realize that you are rather more than a capable adventurer, and that escort duty is frankly beneath a person of your talents. But I have no one else to turn to at present. Might you be willing to forego rest and assist us in the matter? Generous to a fault. Thank you. Now it seems only fair that I explain the importance of the task in question. For some time our order has employed a handful of scholars to travel around Eorzea, taking etheric readings that we might better understand the impact of the primal summonings. Naturally, it behooves us to ensure our employer's safety, and so we ask the adventurers in our service to serve as escorts. Hoary Boulder and Coltonet are to act as two such escorts, as was a third adventurer. Alas, due to the injury, said adventurer is not presently fit for duty, hence my need to impose upon you your goodwill. You're truly a pillar of strength. Hoary Boulder will share with you the details of your task. He should be waiting for you outside. Be safe. Now we can do 2 quests. 2. I kind of wish if it's going to fetch quest me, it actually gave me stuff back to back more often. I see Thancred has resolved his issues. Another storm has come and gone. These moments of peace never last long, do they? I had no idea that you would be assisting us personally. My sincerest apologies for dragging you into our affairs. Ah, Bren, it's true that you agreed to lend us a hand? Huzzah! What did I tell you, Coltonet? Our misfortune has become a blessing, an opportunity to serve alongside the Warrior of Light themselves. Need I remind you that we have 3 scholars to escort, each of whom I will take a different route? True, true, but our mission is the same. Separated by malms we may be, but in spirit we'll be bound together. If such thoughts bring you joy, you're welcome to think them. 2 more practical concerns. Bren, we would have you attend to the scholar charged with surveying the South Shroud. He's awaiting at Camp Tranquil as we speak. All you need to do is follow the man. He will determine the most appropriate locations to take his readings. In spirit, Bren. In spirit, we shall be together every step of the way. I'm in the final stretch. Emma? Okay, Camp Tranquil. Going in total opposite directions here. Because Limsa is the other way. At last, the science person deigns to greet me with their presence. A pity that we have no time for pleasantries. Our first destination is Issamhar. Come, we're late enough as it is. Yes, this location should suffice. Once I finish calibrating my instruments, I will require but a moment to take the necessary measurements. I trust I need not explain that my work can suffer no interruptions. Then please, stand in an appropriate distance and keep watch for wild beasts. It's kind of weird that we went to fighting in a literal war to suddenly being like, here, just help a dude. It's a very swift change of pace. For the ending, I feel more like I'm back at the beginning or middle. I see we have both completed our respective tasks, a satisfactory outcome. Though if I could make one suggestion, you might try to dispatch your foes more quietly in the future. I do not like to pick fault, but I really must be allowed to concentrate. Then maybe you should wear headphones, because I can't kill it any quieter. Now then, Snake Bowl awaits, shall we? This is the type of person who tries to study in, like, a cafe and then is like upset that there's noise. Do you have to grind the coffee beans? Yes, I do. This isn't a library. If you want quiet, go to the library. We serve coffee here, sir. Right about here. Yes, as before, I would ask that you keep an eye out for dangerous beasts as I work. And now for the twee. Man, they are really gunning for you for whatever reason. Fascinating. These readings are not at all what I expected. Though perhaps that should also come as no surprise. I am not given to superstition, but there is a weird, almost blasphemous air hereabout. Let us quit this place and return to Roots Lake. We have one more site to survey. I mean, it is the entrance to a dungeon, just saying. Forget what dungeon that one even is. It is... that helps so much. Dungeon! Ampidor Keep. I think that was one of the creepier ones. As before, my guardian, pray leave me to the task and ensure our safety. And this one, what does it say? Lost City of Ampidor. I'm so used to calling them up on the duty finder that I forget where they actually are on the map. Aren't there more? Last one did 2 rounds. That's fine, I can be silenced because I'm not a spellcaster. I'm a spear poker. The one with the Void Scent. There's several with Void Scent. But I know what you mean. This data should prove invaluable to... Ye gods, what is that stench? Did you slaughter a creep of adamantoises while my back was turned? Quickly now, to Camp Tranquil. We'll not have my clothing reeking of blood and a fall. He reminds me a little bit of Mid. Sid's, I want to say, grandson in Final Fantasy V. Dude has a whole bunch of battles going on behind him, but since he's so engrossed in a book, he doesn't notice any of it. You choose to paddle the Ichor a while longer, I take it. No matter. I took advantage of my unexpected privacy and performed a curious analysis of my data. It would appear that there has been a measurable decrease in Eorzea's ambient aether concentration since the calamity. However, this data is far from conclusive. We must take additional measurements to confirm my assessment. Did the primals drain just like a whole bunch of stuff? Oh, nope, nope. For our next survey, I would have you escort me to Earth's fount. The ambient aether concentrations there are so high that crystalline structures form spontaneously. Consequently, anomalous fluctuations should be much easier to detect. Brilliant, yes? No, don't bother answering. That was rhetorical. Now come along. Now we can go. This way. Not this. This. You should be more than familiar with the procedure by now. Pray find a suitable position from which to keep watch while I take measurements. Well, this one's also technically a dungeon. Maybe it's where the void is that there's decreased aether? But this one's probably more along the lines of, is Odin a primal? Yes, quite high, yet still markedly lower than the historical measurements taken near the end of the 6th astral era. Could the presence of a primal account for the difference? Or is there something else? Something else? Because I know Odin's here, but the Ampedor is more void. I'm curious if maybe void scent also caused a decrease in aether. Something else. Scion, come here. I need you. That's one of ours. His face is above, so he might be alive. Fear not, my friends, help has arrived. Can we get his head out of the water, please? There you are. Hora and I were worried that when you and your charge failed to return to the appointed hour. Sirs, faces forward. It is not me you should be concerned about. Gutted like a hog, but not by one. No, these wounds were made with a blade. Doesn't look like he put up much of a fight either. Nary a mark on his sword or his shield. I heard nothing of any Crystal Brave operations in this area. What causes Wildred to come here? Which we do. We will see to the scholar's protection. Aye, and the boy's remains. You should return to the Rising Stones. The antecedent will want to know what happened here. And so do I. Oh, he was the one he was talking about. Yeah, he was one of the other reformed recruits. Like, I did my time and now I'm out. Because we met him originally in Thanalan, I want to say. Gods, what a waste. Pray leave matters here for us. You must return to the Rising Stones and inform the antecedent at once. We spoke a few times at the Rising Stones. He wasn't as experienced as some of the other Braves, but gods, he had passion. I've never been this close to a... Oh, gods. Hold it in, man. Or don't. Actually, you don't have to hold it in here. Let it out. But, not to be morbid, but with the state of the body, he wouldn't have been there very long. After the whole ordeal with Kurthus, you'd think it'd technically in-game be several days. Unless that's just video games being like, we must only show a corpse as a person laying down, nothing else. Because rated T for teen. Brainy returned, and you seem troubled. Did the role of escort chafe so? I mean, it chafed, but not in the ways that we expected.
Wildred, dead, mayhap murdered. By the 12, how can that be? I will send word to Alfino at once. He will want to conduct a full investigation and send word to Wildred's family. Gods, he was just a boy. Who would do this and why?
Well, to be fair, it's not the first time Wildred got himself in with a bad crowd. Anyway, time to go check on Tataru. Limitation of the models, okay. Probably in the basement. Probably in the basement. Sorry, my stupid job in healthcare makes my brain go the opposite direction. I analyze certain things almost on instinct. How's it going with carbuncles?
What are you doing here?
Need any tips?
I didn't mean for her to worry. That's the last thing I wanted. Putting an end to such worries is precisely the reason I'm here, don't you see? I, Tataru, shall become a great and powerful arcanist. And now, at Mistress Thurbergrim's behest, I must go and complete special training exercises. Until we meet again.
Yep, been there. Been there, sweetie. Behold. Where in the heck? I think I'm also thinking of a different Brave. I don't know. If I am, they have the same hair model.
Well, if it isn't Bren, what brings you to the guild?
Wildred was Alamegan, wasn't he?
So you're acquainted with our newest member. An arcanist of your experience must see that our potential is somewhat lacking. Nevertheless, she would not be denied, and goes now to undertake her first trial, a simulated inspection of 3 crates. Doubtless you recall receiving similar training under Clea's supervision?
Sure do.
A thought occurs to me. Why not oversee Tataru's training yourself? Given your relationship with the girl and your familiarity with the task, I think you the ideal choice. You need only head to the cliff south of the Zephyr Gate, as before, and observe at a distance.
Wait, what do you have for me now? An Eggy by any other name? Oh, does this let me summon them as friends? Like Carby here?
Well, if it isn't Bren, precisely the person I wish to see. You will recall Ymirta of the Sons of Saint Cognac. Well, she's recently finished compiling her research into summoning, and was kind enough to send a copy of it to our guild. I was pleased to note that you're listed as a collaborator.
Maybe because it ended in a different spot, I don't remember this being here.
I must say it's quite a fascinating read, especially the section covering those essences of Privals called Eggy. You're able to manifest the beings, yes? Wonderful. In which case, I should like your assistance with an experiment. If you're willing, pray join me in the practice area. I will reveal the details there.
Yeah, I've seen people with Eggy as their familiars. I'm guessing maybe that's what this does. I didn't know it was here, though.
My apologies for the wait. To begin with, might I ask you to call forth an Eggy? I would very much like to see one with my own eyes. Mayhap the Ifrit Eggy would be suitable. I understand that it was the first such being to be summoned.
Teeny tiny.
Yes, a most impressive being indeed. Created according to Ymirta, in the image of the entity which at once more closely associates with fire, Ifrit. It is my hypothesis that the same fundamental principle could be employed to alter the form of an Eggy by calling to mind another image. Pray summon a free Aggie again, but this time focus your consciousness upon Carbuncle. It shouldn't be difficult, given the bond you share. Oh, I bet this lets us summon different Carbuncle colors, too. Brilliant! My theory holds! Whilst it takes the form of Carbuncle, there's no mistaking its ethereal composition. It's Ifrit in bunny form. I should not imagine that the abilities it wields have changed. For all intents and purposes, it's still an Ifrit Aggie, but now we know that there's no limit to an Aggie's appearance. Well... Can Primals do that too? Well, I must returning to my post. Let us continue this upstairs. Or maybe so many people missed their cute Carbuncle. They're like, I want to continue summoning my Carbuncle, though. They're like, fine. We'll use the same powers, but give you the aesthetic form of Carby instead. It's too damn cute, okay? You can't just force me to put it away. Yeah, I think she lets you force the Aggie with the power of the palette of the Carbuncle. Too many people were probably like, no, I can't just lose my little fluffy friend after a couple of hours. You have my thanks for indulging me. This experiment has unearthed a new world of possibility for arcane entities, and I hope you'll find use for the discovery. An Aggie's outward appearance can now be altered using /pet glamour, /pet glamour. For example, if you want your Gruta Aggie to appear as if it were Ruby Carbuncle, use the text command Pet Glamour or Gruta Aggie, Pet Glamour Gruta Aggie or Ruby Carbuncle. For details, enter /question /Pet Glamour. I have this thing called Google. Glamours are now available for your Summoner and Scholar familiars. Applying them is as simple as typing in the following text command /Pet Glamour summon name Glamour. For example, if you wish to change the appearance of your Titan Aggie to Ruby Carbuncle, you need only enter Pet Glamour, Titan Aggie, Ruby Carbuncle, and then cast Summon Titan. It's so complicated still, though. Finally, there are 2 rules you must remember when using Aggie Glamours. The text command must be executed before summoning your familiar, as Glamours will not be applied if it has already been summoned. Entering the text command without specifying a Glamour will return your familiar to its original form. Please note that Glamours for Summoner require completion of the quest an Aggie by any other name, while Glamours for Scholar require the completion of the quest A Fairy Tale Come True. Is it behind me? Right. No, it's in front of me. How fortuitous. Might you spare a moment? I recently received word that you've been researching the Scholars of Nim at behest of the Marauders Guild member, is that right? Didn't know these were here. I see, and as a result you can now call upon a fairy to aid you. Fascinating. Might I trouble you to meet with me downstairs in the practice area? There's something very much I would wish for you to try. But I only have one fairy. My apologies for the wait. As for what I wish for you to attempt, it is a technique similar to what you've already employed with your Aggie. Now, would you be so kind as to call forth your fairy? I love that my books feel like they should belong to the opposite class. Like this one should be Summoner, and the other one should be Scholar. How charming! The tales do little to capture its beauty. The fairy has no doubt manifested in the image of that which you most closely associate with fairies. By my research suggests this form is not immutable. Indeed, though a fundamental form may have been incorporated into the original incantation, With sufficient concentration, I believe it possible to supplant this form with the image of another entity. Try conjuring the fairy once more, this time with the carbuncle in your mind's eye.
Oh, so I can turn this into carbuncle too. I thought I was gonna get different fairy forms.
Remarkable, and with only a single attempt. It would seem my theory holds, meaning this transformation should be merely superficial, and is done not to affect its capacity for healing. Very good.
All shall be carbuncle. All shall return to the carbuncle.
With that, we may conclude this little experiment. You would follow me upstairs?
Does that mean the forms of which we see other primals is dictated by our own subconsciouses? Is that why the Final Fantasy XIV and XV primals were a little different? When somebody else with a different frame of reference viewed them?
Thank you again for my help. For your help, it proved to be quite the spectacle. I should hope to make use of what you learned here today. I dare say your fairy's appearance may be without limit.
Your fairy's appearance can now be changed using Pet Glamour. / Pet Glamour Eos, Ruby Carbuncle. Let's go back to Observe Tatar's training south of the Zephyr Gate. That is right at Middle Enosia. Where mine was. I mean, I am the summoner of it, yeah. But I'm curious how it could affect other primals, depending on how they are summoned.
O'er azure seas to Pirate's Port, where she meets her shining jewel. For to bring the smuggler's plans to naught, come the lass whom none could fool. Beat him with a black draft, gut him with a gust, duck him with a downburst, go, carbuncle, go! Oh, are these crates I spy? And this must be the true test, but we're ready for them, aren't we, carbuncle?
Yeah, gonna cast, girl?
Carbuncle?
Blue doesn't fight, sweetie! Oh no, she got a sassy one. That feeling when you try to do anything with your cat.
Come back, Carbuncle, come back!
Well, maybe Summoner wasn't quite the right path. There are other mage classes, though. Maybe she's not good with animals?
I should have known you'd come. You needn't say a word. Your face says it all. I know you bore witness to my shame. Betrayed by my own carbuncle and left at the mercy of wild beasts. I must accept the truth. I'll never be a warrior like you or the others. I will inform Mistress Thurbergrim of my intention to withdraw from the guild. Arcanima, like so much else, is beyond me.
But you summoned the carbuncle. Which means you have some degree of etheric conductivity. Aren't you just giving up a little too soon? It's literally your first day. you have any idea how many times when I first played I forgot to summon my carbuncle in the dungeon, so therefore had to just keep casting Ruin over and over? Because it was my fault, and I didn't understand how to play this game. Back so soon? How fared the fledgling Arcanist? Or how many times I didn't realize I had more slots on my grid because it immediately defaults to the pet hotbar when you tap R1.
Abysmally, Mistress Thurbergrim, abysmally, as Bren will testify. I was wrong to become an Arcanist, wrong as usual. I'm completely and utterly unqualified, and I sincerely apologize for wasting your time. Tataru, if that were true, I would not have permitted you to join in the first place. We must all come to accept our limitations, lest our ambitions lead us astray. However, we must not lose sight of our strengths in the process. For example, your exceptional skill with numbers helped you gain a solid grasp of the fundamentals of Arcanima. Were it not so, you would have struggled even so to summon Carbuncle to your side. In my opinion, the Scions are truly fortunate to have such a capable and good-natured receptionist in their service. Would you not agree? You're too kind, Mrs. Thurbergrim. I thought I could not overcome this challenge. I shall take your words to heart and try not to be discouraged.
Ancient ways, timeless wants. Considering the next course of action.
As fetching as these garments are, I fear I shall never don them again. But I cannot go back to the Rising Stones without something to show for my time away. Wait, I know what I can do. That is, if you don't mind accompanying me for a little while longer. Wonderful, then to Costa del Sol we shall go. It's a bit of a gamble, but I'm confident it will pay off.
Yeah, because if you tap it, or it used to be, it defaulted to the pet hotbar. Now it rotates, but before, it was a little bit difficult to get set up knowing what I didn't. Tataru has the superpower of maths. Then it seems like she'd be decent as an Arcanist. She just needs to take a little bit of time and learn some more spells.
This is it. This is where the man at the Drowning Wench told me to look. There's a certain variety of clam which can be harvested this time of year in the Bloodshore, one which produces the most marvelous pearls. However, these clams are also coveted by certain wild creatures, and since I fared rather poorly in battle last time, let us be off.
You can try your hand at fishing? I mean, it's not combat class, but...
What fortune! I've already found one. Would you be so kind as to keep watch while I work? This should only take a moment.
Fine. I shall stand watch. From one heck of a distance. Good gods. What is that?
Why is there a mini Leviathan?
Does Tataru magnet trouble?
What is this thing?
Superpower of maths and getting herself drawn into danger. Yeesh!
Well fought, well fought. I knew I was right to ask you to come. As for me, I have my prize, a bounty of blood pearls. So named for their reddish hue, they were treasured as wards against dark magics in ancient times. I thought I might make charms for everyone, so that no matter where they go, they'll always come home. It's sort of the power to defend myself and other people, in a way. Right, well I mustn't keep Flahaman waiting. There's work to be done, and lots of it. We're to secure provisions for the Scions in the Lumens and markets. She may have an eye for equality, but I have a nose for bargains. Will you be heading back to the Rising Stones? If so, pray convey my apologies to the antecedent, and tell her that she needn't worry about me. Farewell, and thank you for everything. That sounded rather final, didn't it? How about until we meet again?
You sure you're okay going by yourself when you don't have a fighting class with you? You literally just got attacked by a snake. Back to the Rising Stones. Does this mean Tataru is not going to be our receptionist for a little while? Four more to go. Oof.
Welcome home. I gather you found Tataru in Limsa Lominsa. My, it sounds as though she had quite an adventure, and while it did not end as she had hoped, I suspect that it will prove to be a valuable experience. I dare say she could have managed without our intervention. Even so, I appreciate you indulging my request.
Time to every purpose.
Though recent events weigh heavily on our minds, we must needs set them aside for now. We are come to a defining moment in Eorzean history. The grand commemoration of our joint defense of Ishgard, the first time in 15 long years that our people have stood side by side with our neighbors to the north to fight in common cause. This may mark the true rebirth of the Eorzean Alliance. Failing that, it should at the very least serve to bring our nations closer together. We have every reason to raise our voices in celebration, do we not?
I mean, we have been through a lot.
We have bested Dravanians and Asians both. Against desperate odds, we have fought and won. But the primals still plague us, and the Empire still plots our subjugation. And our triumphs, remarkable though they are, were brought at a terrible price. Brave adventurers and allies broken on the steps of the faith, and before our eyes in this very room, our dear friend Moonbrita. This is the victory we have wrought, and it is as bitter as ash in my mouth.
Yeah, she did kind of move away, too, from Thanland to get away from all the death that was there, but more death occurred here.
I would sooner stay here and invite those with more appetite to enjoy the feast in my stead. Alas, it is a royal banquet, and all our allies will be in attendance. It is our duty to present a unified front, that we might serve as a beacon of hope to all. It seems I have no choice but to take my own advice. I instructed the others to meet us in Ul'dah, that we might make our grand entrance together. Unfortunately, I had to settle for leaving Tataru and Lamin a note. If they do not return quickly, they will have to settle for whatever leftovers I can smuggle out of the fragrant chamber.
Off to the big soiree? Raise a glass for me, eh? Or not. You don't look best pleased. Something on your mind? By the Navigator, Wildred's dead? God damn it. They must know they've been rumbled. I mean, sod it. It's past time we had this talk. After our last conversation, I go thinking about where certain funds are coming from, so I had to dig around. On the quiet like, and sure enough I found it. Seems a fair bit of coin made its way to the Braves' coffers, courtesy of a Dodo consortium. Okay, look, just because he follows me everywhere doesn't mean it's related to me. A daft name for a business if I ever heard one, which is what first gave me an inkling that something weren't right. So I went through the ledgers again and found half a dozen donations from organizations with stupid bloody names. Didn't take long to find the common thread. All were owned by the Mirage Trust. Oh, I'll give the bastard credit. He showed us up for the amateurs we are. Short of calling one of his businesses the bloody bribery consortium, I don't know what more he could have done to mock our rules on financial contributions. The gods only know how many men of the first and third are taking Telegi's coin, but now we know, as some of them are, I'd wager my right eye they're the ones who did for Wilfred. The earnest young fool had taken an asking to the wrong kind of questions. Bound to attract attention he was. Should have seen it at the time, but didn't, goddamn me. Still, I don't see what Telegi hopes to accomplish. He hid his scheme with all the care of a drunk pissing into the wind. Wouldn't Tataru have caught it? No, he's cleverer than this. So we need to be clever too. That's the only way we'll ever repay his debt of blood. We'll purge every one of them traitorous bastards from our ranks. On that you have my word. That is gonna cause one heck of an infight. They might not know that the coin's coming from there, though. Not all of them. Mind yourself while you're in Ul'dah. We're heading into a storm. I can smell it. The kind what'll sweep a man overboard and drag him under before he knows it. Maybe not the best time or place, my dude. Can you contain yourself until we can talk to the other Scions? And not get me thrown into royal prison, please? Thank you.
It's a banquet, so there'll definitely be food, but will there also be dancing? And if there is, will it be before or after the food? Dancing on a full stomach is no fun, but neither is being hungry. What to do? I do hope Yida is not under the impression that we're here to make merry. We're ostensibly the antecedents escort, after all. I mean, that's why so many places also have the banquet, where you just make your own plate. If I did not know any better, I think our bard had run afoul of another jilted lover.
Is that... no, just my imagination. What? Oh, pay no attention to me. 'Tis a habit from my misspent youth looking over my shoulder from time to time.
Uh-huh. You see someone down there? Thancred? Or across the way?
That's Genlin's. You're not looking at Genlin's, are you?
I've been waiting for you. The celebration is due to begin shortly. I'd hoped that we might make our introductions together, but Mistress Momodi just sent word that you're in need at the quicksand.
Now?
We will go on ahead. Pray join us once matters at the quicksand are resolved.
Can't wait. Give my regards to Momodi, and let her know that I will call upon her anon. Is she one of your many too, Thancred? that new maidservant, no truly. She ran out of the Lord's bedchambers wearing knickers. Something about night knickers? I didn't get to see what that said. Wasn't asking you. If you ask me, I say to the hells with them. Are they talking about the Sultana's maid or somebody else? I appreciate you dropping in on such short notice. I know you've got places to be, so I won't waste your time. You're friends with the Crystal Brave by the name of Elaine, aren't you? Former adventurer, come to think of it, I'm pretty sure you recruited her yourself. Well, anyway, she came round for a meal not long ago, and before she left, she asked me to give you a message. She said if the others ended up dragging you to the feast, I was to see it got to you before you made your grand entrance. Meet me at the station west of Coffer and Coffin. There's something I must show you. A short message, I'll grant you, but she thought long and hard before picking those words. Barely touched her food, too. Under other circumstances, I'd have thought signs of a troubled heart. But something tells me she ain't planning to ask your thoughts on a gentleman caller. That's not suspicious. Hey, come to this secluded situation alone when all of your friends are gonna be occupied. During a time of much political unrest. And when other braves have turned up dead. Out in the open with high cliffs. Where this isn't the first time I've been shot at. As you stand on the platform, your thoughts begin to wander. All too soon, the ghost of comrades lost and the enemy slain begin to file your mind's eye in solemn procession. Clearing your head, you scan the horizon but see no sign of Elaine. Straining your ears to listen, you hear the chatter of Chirin and the buzzing. Not you, Siri. You hear the chatter of Chirin and the buzzing of sylphids, but no approaching footfall. Sighing, you bow your head, only to notice the vial lying at your feet. I zoned out so hard, I noticed trash. Bren, is that you? What brings you this way? Lieutenant Elaine? Why no, I haven't seen her about. What brings you this way? Had she come this way, I guarantee we would have crossed paths. I must have passed this spot a dozen times. We're to patrol the city's environs on account of the royal banquet. Captain's order, you understand. Speaking of which, isn't it about to begin? You should be with the other honored guests, enjoying your well-deserved respite. Pray return to Ul'dah. If chance to meet the lieutenant, I will tell her you were here. Did you... Something's up with you. That's not good. What is the vial? I feel like I'm being set up. One brain cell indeed.
Oh, Sultan Tree, hallowed spirit of my line. Through my weakness, the glorious house of Ul has all but disappeared beneath the sands. For want of the strength to raise it up again, it were better that it fall. Forgive me, but I know not what else to do.
Yeah, and Teleji was also talking about doing something to Sultana. I don't know. It just, I feel bad. Anxiety. Possibly trying to draw me away. Can I check my inventory? As soon as I load in. Any day now. Woo! Nice ping. Clouded vial. This tiny glass container appears to have been used before, but contain what, pray tell? I don't like that. I don't like that. But to contain what? Been used before, but to contain what? Whatever is in this is not in this anymore. Poison? Void scent? I reckon you'd head straight to the feast after meeting with Elaine. What's the matter? No appetite? Can you sniff this? Like, tell me what's in it? Can you give this to the Alchemist Guild? So she wasn't there, but this was, huh? Let's see. Looks like an alchemist vial, I could tell you that. But beyond that, I can't say. Might be best if you hold on to it for safekeeping, though. I don't know how I feel about holding on to it. If somebody dies, they're gonna think I did it. Any road, no use worrying about Elaine. I'm sure she'll turn up before too long, and when she does, we'll soon find out what this was in aid of. Besides, you've got more important things to think about. Departing glass. Would you believe it? While you were away, another message arrived for you. Well, one did. One delivered by the Sultan and handmaiden, no less. Seems her grace desires a private audience. Her handmaiden will meet with you on the royal promenade to escort you to the Sultana's chambers. So what are you waiting for? Go on then, go! Damn it, I was gonna look at something.
You needn't trouble yourself so. Your grace is most kind, but it is no trouble to me, rather an honor. If your grace is ready, I shall summon the warrior of light. I am.
I was gonna see if there was anything color-wise that matched with the vial in my own alchemical stuff. Normally they are color-coded.
Everyone looks to be in high spirits.
With good cause.
A common victory may serve to unite even the most unlikely of allies. You've brought us one step closer to a united Eorzea.
Your modesty knows no bounds, Antecedent. Were it not for your efforts, Sir Emmerich would never have become such a steadfast ally. When he convinces his countrymen to rejoin the Alliance, we shall all reap the benefits, military and economic. I tell you, we are on the cusp of a new era of unity and prosperity. Territorial disputes are all that divide us now. But I have faith that we will find an amicable solution in time. And failing that, I'll have my trusty warrior of light box the ears of all concerned. Speaking of whom...
She will be joining us shortly. A matter at the quicksand required her attention, but it did not sound serious.
I mean... Okay, kill me. Where'd it go? No! Antidote was red-ish. It was like this, but red. But potion of strength, I highly doubt. Okay, back to the Royal Promenade. Either that contains poison or some sort of enhancement thing. You just don't find random trash in the game. Be like, oh, don't worry, it's just discarded trash. Something's very wrong. It's time. Ending time. Oh no, shit's gonna hit the fan. I don't have a good feeling. Lady in waiting. Literally inside somebody else's coats. Which is kind of fitting for what the NPCs said about her and the fact that she might be doing other things behind the Sultana's back and maybe the one who stabbed her in the back. I don't know, I guess we'll see. Thank you for coming. Her Grace is most eager to speak with you. If you require a moment to compose yourself before your audience, you may have it, or if you are ready, it would be my honor to escort you to Her Grace's chambers forthwith. Upon proceeding to the Sultana's bedchamber, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It's recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these cutscenes in their entirety. Yee, let's do this! I should have until 8 tonight, so hopefully an hour and a half is sufficient time.
Enter. Your Grace, your guest has arrived.
Why am I speaking to you alone?
Pray, come in and take your ease.
Tis well that the steps of faith held against the Horde.
And what of the city proper?
We sustained some few losses, but the heart of our nation yet beats with vigor. I am not certain I could say the same had we not received your most generous aid.
An attack on Ishgard is an attack on the realm. We stand together or fall divided.
I'm like watching everybody intensely now.
Such noble words after the fact.
I had hoped to speak in the presence of Her Grace, but it seems she has been delayed. That being the case, now would seem as good a time as any. Honored friends, pray allow me to convey Ishgard's warmest gratitude for your part in the defense of our lands. 'Tis upon the success of this very alliance that my recommendation to throw open the gates of judgment shall be founded. With the blessing of the Archbishop, it is my hope that Ishgard will soon be reunited with her long-estranged sister nations, and that Eorzea shall once more be as one.
You couldn't wait a couple seconds to do this speech after the Sultana arrives? It kind of feels like you're doing it under her nose otherwise.
Very well.
Is Artemis?
Nothing to worry about. I shall return anon.
Are you being drawn away like I am? Thankfully, he has Super Book of Protection, but still. He has super spells. So I'm a little less worried about him as compared to Minfilia, but still.
You wished a word, Yu Hase?
You may go. Your Grace. You must be curious as to the reason for this private audience. The matter I would discuss, however, will soon make apparent the need for discretion.
That wasn't it, was it?
I intend to abdicate the throne and dissolve the monarchy.
The fact that they made a point of letting you know that it was like poured out. I don't know.
You have seen for yourself the storm of turmoil that howls through our streets. The government fails in its responsibilities, and my subjects suffer the consequences of our incompetence.
Cinematography, it's all pointing to that, and I don't know. I hope it's a false. I hope it's a false flag.
But I will see them suffer no longer. The victory feast shall provide the stage on which I declare the dissolution of the Sultanate.
The fact that her goblet was in the center of the screen, the fact that it zoomed into the wine bottle, the fact that it made a point that you heard it even while it was loading, like it just... And the fact that we know that there's probably poison. I don't feel good about this.
'Tis mine intent that the ruling class of our golden city should take its place beside the common man in a fair and equitable republic. No more shall this nation bow to the whims of a privileged few.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing! Stands up and knocks over Goblet in the process. Oh my gosh. Oops, silly me. Don't drink that. Allow me to get it.
The tearing up of this city's very foundations. And even Reborn, with all his strength and influence, will be hard-pressed to keep his footing on such treacherous ground. Thus would I ask you to lend him a steadying hand. You who have endured the wrath of innumerable foes are the one hero in whom I can place my trust. Will you do this thing for me?
It's the one time I wish I didn't have a steadying hand so I could knock the stupid goblet over just in case.
I am truly grateful. More grateful than I can well express.
If she picks that goblet up, we're fucked. Because I haven't actually seen them eat aside from the culinarian quest. If she picks it up in a quest for which all this other stuff goes down, I'm gonna panic.
Much of my dread for the coming days has been quieted.
Mine hasn't. No. 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 Oh, fuck. That's the poison, isn't it? It has to be. There's no way. Yep. God damn it. The one time I wish I hoarded antidotes in the inventory. You have healing powers, stupid! Do something! We have Azuna! We've cured worse! Change! Change classes, damn you! As a healer, if you play, like, in a healer in this cutscene, this must be especially frustrating.
Grace!
Of course, you of all people just happened to walk in at this moment, totally unprompted. You.
Her Grace, the Sultana, is dead.
You didn't even check for a pulse, man. You're really quick to call that. Again, I know Azuna.
Poison in her wine? You did this!
CPR, man, CPR. If you actually gave a damn, you'd CPR.
Spare us your denials. I see no other suspects, and the room has but the one entrance.
You'd also immediately call for medics if you actually gave a shit, but I know he was the one who tried to murder her, so of course, I'm fucked.
I hereby accuse you of regicide. Men, arrest this viper.
Can I fight my way out of this? Draw your... Wait, do I not have it? Did they take my... Ah, fuck. Because I'm with the Sultana, I don't have weapons. As a monk, this must be especially frustrating in your cutscenes.
Sir, barring a few exceptions, we have detained all those with allegiance to the Scions. The Rising Stones is also under our control.
And this has happened before anything else even went down, which means you guys are probably part of it, and this is all planned, and we just landed right in it. Because you were waiting for Alphino before I even went off with the Sultana. Alphino, cast Fireball. Just do it. We're screwed anyways.
And what do you hope to achieve with this mutiny?
Why, that which we have striven for all along, Commander. The salvation of Eorzea.
You want to be more specific, man? Because I have multiple definitions of that at this point. Can I, like, stealthily grab the link pearl out of my pocket?
What is the meaning of this?
Let people know. Or did they take that too?
Knights from the homeland. This cannot bode well.
Lord Commander, we have received an urgent message from the Holy See. I am grieved to report that your serpentine foes have resumed their assault. Needless to say, your presence is urgently required. These knights have come to bear you swiftly home to Ishgard.
And there goes potentially the one party that could help.
A surprise attack.
We've had no such word from our men, and the timing is most fortuitous to catch us away from the city.
Also, we have link pearls. They would have called
Most
us.
Fortuitous indeed.
Lord Commander, we must away.
Or potentially to assassinate them on the road, too. How many men does this little guy have in his pockets?
Gracious host. I hope that I might one day return the favor. Come, Lucia.
Oh, I have a favor to return, alright. Oh, you two at least smell it. Really, Thancred?
Whatever is going on in there? Ah, the ever-dutiful brass blades. I must apologize, but my dance card is rather full. Another time, perhaps?
Oh, sure, he gets to keep his weapons.
Thancred of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. You stand accused of committing acts of espionage in service to the Garlean Empire.
Espionage? What in the seven hells are you talking about? Ah, if you're referring to that business with the Ultima weapon, then you must understand, I wasn't myself.
Nah, honey, that's not even close. You are so out of the loop.
Under interrogation, an Imperial prisoner revealed your involvement in numerous dealings with the enemy. We've also been investigating reports that you are a practitioner of forbidden arts. You'd best come along with us.
You invite me to your party and now you want me to leave? I do so detest receiving mixed signals. Come then. I believe I've lost my appetite for this farce of a celebration.
I feel like the whole party is being held hostage.
You go too far, Lord Adeleji. By what right do you march armed soldiers into a royal banquet and eject state visitors without her grace's consent? You treat the brass blades as your personal army and show contempt for the throne with your every act. Leave us now.
Technically, if he's paying them, they are his personal army.
Is that an order, General? Mayhap you have mistaken me for one of your flames. You will find I am not so slavishly obedient. And you lecture me on personal armies. As for your outrageous claim that I have shown contempt for the throne, let all here observe that it was not I who feasted while an assassin removed its occupant.
And you just happened to be there?
This is your idea of defending the nation, is it? This and diluting our forces through these distractions in Cartano and Kurthis. I do begin to see how the ranks of the Immortal Flames came to be riddled with Garlean sympathizers. You are plainly unfit for command.
Wait, goddamn you. Your words make no sense. What assassin?
You mean to say you don't know?
Literally, how could he?
The vaunted champion of the Scions in her grace's private chambers, not moments after the deed was done.
Says only man with info.
No! No, this cannot be!
Save your breath. You will need it to plead your case. You and your entire order are to be tried for this atrocity.
Just slap me with the echo. I know we can't use it for them, but you can use it for me.
Bring in the prisoner!
Ow. I don't quite like being hauled about like this when I have slain primals.
This woman stands accused of poisoning Her Royal Majesty Nanamu ul Namo and is suspected accessories to the crime. All members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn will be detained for questioning.
This is madness!
What a pity. Who'd have thought your tale would end like this?
I know I didn't trust your ass. Too haughty.
So to demand further proof, a vial with traces of the substance used to poison her grace was found upon the assassin's person.
I told you that would bite me in the ass.
How very convenient.
You would speak of convenience? Who persuaded her grace to host this celebration?
A diversion which presented you and your confederates ample opportunity to commit the crime, and a crowd within which to fade from view. A more convenient occasion I could scarcely imagine.
How dare you! After all we have done for Uldar!
Hold your tongue, witch! I'll not be ensorcelled! I know all about the dark gift that you and your disciples wield. Oh yes, I've observed how you worked upon the minds of the Alliance leaders, bending them to your will. And what of your cordial relationship with Sir Emmerich? For years, Ishgard abjured all contact with the outside world, and now the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights treats you with the familiarity of a childhood friend.
Oh yes, socialization. My greatest sin.
I'll tell you what I think. I think this desperate defense of Ishgard was but a ruse to deceive us into dividing our forces. Your
By uniting them.
will be to charm your Kurthan allies into invading our lands.
By becoming allies with them. Now, okay, now I get to say nobody else has the brain cells because the cognitive dissonance in this room at this very moment.
Now that is truly ridiculous.
Everybody gets sloshed up and drunk first before you make this speech.
How do you even think of this stuff?
She cannot be dead.
I know how to make antidotes. Unbind me.
I want to see the Sultana.
Spare yourself the pain, brother. I saw her with my own eyes.
Those poisons aren't instant. We have time.
For a mercy, the poison took her swiftly. Her handmaiden can attest to that.
Yeah, she put it in there. Also, you weren't in the room when she died. Your handmaiden can attest to it, despite the fact she was not in the room. Therefore, she knew it was in the bottle.
This cannot be.
You know, there's this thing called due process where you go to court and you have to go in front of a judge. Do you not do that here? And we launch investigations and cause trials. You'd think the Sultana of all people would have the best task force, but I guess when the whole damn thing is corrupt.
Plainly, the royalists can no longer be relied upon to keep our nation safe. And so it falls to the monitorists of the Syndicate to govern Uldar. But should you wish to help us, General, we would be more than happy to entrust the task of planning Her Grace's funeral to you.
He's gonna kick you across the room like a soccer ball for that.
It seems only
nor would I know it would. I would.
Precious Sultana, and we will be glad to be rid of that burden.
I can't punch a screen. They're expensive.
I'll bet you will. You more than any man.
Whatever do you mean?
I mean you had her killed, you black-hearted bastard!
Yeah, thank you, Reborn, for having the one brain cell in the room.
What rot! Though I did have sufficient motive, 'tis true. That young lady caused me no end of grief. She always was a most unwilling puppet. I dare say Her Grace was grateful that someone thought to cut her strings.
Mask off, huh? Because everybody else that's left in the room is yours. Is either yours or gonna die.
You would mock her, then mock her from hell!
You know, that works too. You know, his feet went forward, his hand went backwards, he's obscured by the camera. He's in two pieces, isn't he?
Have you lost your mind, General?
It is forbidden to draw steel in the royal chambers, much less slaughter our fellow syndicate members.
Yeah, and it's forbidden to do a regicide, but here we are. Let him cook. He's making sushi.
You're one of them. You've been in league with the Scions all along.
Just do it, man.
You're next to scheming bastard.
But we can show the arm going.
Oh, Reborn!
7 hells!
You have guns, madam. Please use them. You have healing, madam. Please use it.
Admiral, we must leave.
The cowardice. We wish to be united, but we will not get involved in what is clearly a coup. Some friends you are.
You, old friend. I did not expect to take your arm so easily.
Take the Scions into custody. They have conspired to commit regicide. And arrest this traitor as well.
Still a dragoon. I can still jump.
Ilbert, I hope you choke on their coin.
Get up on the ceiling and go out a window or something.
'Tis better than the dirt I've supped on these long years. We can't all abandon Alamigo and become great war heroes as you have.
I knew there was some resentment in there.
You are not the man you once were, Reborn. Since that girl strapped the yoke around your neck, you've become docile.
His previous honeyed words were very stale and scripted.
She took the mad bull and cut off his balls. And a bull that cannot rot is fit for naught but slaughter.
Clearly you know nothing of farming, then.
Shall I tell you who really killed your precious Sultana?
Pretty sure he knows by now. Mufasa.
It was me.
Definitely an I killed Mufasa moment.
You die!
I was gonna say, man, you have one more hand. Anybody want to cut me free while they're at it? Thank you!
I never doubted you, not for a moment. But there is more to this than I yet understand.
But we gotta live first.
Clear your names. Find out who is behind this plot. It is the only way. Now go!
But to clear our names, we might have to go to war with the new powers of Ul'dah. Because if they take over and they rule Ul'dah, we will be fighting against the leaders of Ul'dah, which constitutes war. or terrorism.
Ah, there you are.
Oh, shut up, Tancred.
Thancred, where have you been?
Fraternizing, as always.
Avoiding the fumbling advances of some very persistent admirers. When I realized the celebrations had turned sour, it seemed prudent to slip away and take stock of the situation.
Can we run and talk?
'Twould appear that much of the city is already under tight guard. It occurs to me that expanding the Brass Blade's authority may not have been such a wonderful idea after all.
The success of this plan was contingent upon those thugs having the run of the place. Just how long has this scheme been in motion?
The careful preparations, the maneuvering of forces. I am inclined to agree with the General's insistence that a deeper plot exists here.
Really?
So, would I be right in thinking we now have an excuse to pummel as many brass blades as we like?
We're already guilty.
Unless you plan on pummeling them all, I'm not sure that will greatly aid our cause.
The Sultana's assassination was but one part of the scheme. We too were its targets. And though we did not share poor Nanamo's fate, we are yet hobbled by the charges laid at our door. Where now might we seek refuge?
We didn't share Nanamo's fate, but we almost did. Make no mistake, honey, they were gonna execute us.
Where indeed, we may safely assume that our foe is thought to have the Rising Stones watched.
Forgive me for stating the obvious, but our choice of destination will matter little if we cannot secure an escape route out of Ul'dah. Happily, I believe I can provide one. Papa Shan once told me about the passages hidden in the walls of the palace. If I recall correctly, the fireplace in Nanamo's chambers conceals the entrance to a tunnel.
And someone you met just happened to know that? Weird date location, Thancred, but thank you.
It should lead outside the city and allow us to avoid any messy confrontations.
I don't want to know how you know.
The rest of you go on ahead. I'll handle this lot.
By yourself? I suppose I shall just have to join you.
Crystal Braves too, huh? Now this should be interesting.
Ida! Papa Limo!
But now you've sealed yourselves in.
We will hold our pursuers here. Hurry, now! Find this tunnel of Thancred's.
I mean, I guess they could always come up and around on the side there. Just walk on the railing.
Minfilia, we cannot linger.
Seriously, girl, move your ass! How many times? If you're feeling guilty about it, pick a class. Any class. I don't care if it's culinarian and you stick them with the dagger on occasion. I will get you some Ginsu cooking knives if that be your wish, but please, pick a class. At first they framed it as if they
Look what you've done.
struck her down. Oh, we get to see your blue eyes.
Ida, are you all right? There are just too many of them.
I'm fine. I could do this all day. How about you?
Nearing the end of my tether.
stupid. We're the scions of the Seventh Dawn. The ones who stand between this realm and the evil that's trying to destroy it.
And if you think we'll leave the stewardship of Eorzea to the likes of your masters, then you're sorely mistaken.
Got enough MP to cast Flare in a tiny space?
You into this, Papalymo?
'Tis hardly the first time, and I'll be damned if it will be the last.
Wait, can Thaumaturges do enhancing magic?
Let them have it, Ida.
Maybe it's the ley lines.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Which I don't even know if we get an ARR. It counts as flare, technically. Does in my books. We had to sue us. Like a rat.
I never knew such a watercourse existed beneath Uldar.
Has to go somewhere, sweetie.
The architecture is of the Sildine style, if I'm not mistaken. The ancients plainly foresaw the need for a ready means of escape.
It's less escape and more, if it's not down here, we're stepping at it in the streets. It's only traversable by people for maintenance.
This way!
Well, that didn't take long. It seems these tunnels were not as secret as I'd hoped.
You two, go on ahead. Thancred and I will deal with this.
What do you mean to do?
Only that which is required to ensure that the dawn's light survive to brighten the morrow.
Fear not, antecedent. You haven't seen the last of these fair features.
My friends.
Actually, that
Leave
light
us.
is about the worst thing we could carry. Especially if there's already some light in here. Yeah, 'cause it lights us up.
What is the plan, milady? Shall I take the dozen on the left and you the dozen on the right? The odds are not exactly stacked in our favor.
Like so many books and stuff, they have them like camping in the middle of the woods at night while being pursued, and it's like, honey, that campfire shines so bright on an unilluminated mountain, you have no idea.
Numbers will count for little when I bring the tunnel down upon their heads. Though I cannot say I relish the thought of being entombed with you for all eternity.
You wound me. I will have you know that many a maid would kill for the chance to spend forever at my side. Now, may I have the last dance?
Oh please, I've seen you both in future trailers. I know you're going to be fine. Besides, you don't have to bring down the whole thing on your heads. Clearly there's sunlight up there. You can, like, move out of the way. Or heck, bring it down behind them, take out these, and that way no way more reinforcements could come. I need you guys to speak with my Arcanist teacher. Learn some battle strategy. Thank you. Needed to do that a while ago.
Well, This is going splendidly. Now would be a good time, milady!
'Tis done.
Forgive me, Mitra.
Mitra. I'm trying to remember who Mitra is.
Heidelin, she speaks to me.
About damn time.
No. I must remain behind, but you cannot stay with me.
Summon a quest NPC. I don't remember it super duper well then.
Please, you must go on. You are the warrior of light. You are hope for the Scions and for all the realm. As long as your flame continues to burn, the light of the dawn may ever be relit. You must escape and save Eorzea from those who would plunge it into darkness.
And you stay here and do what?
It's the only way.
And what are you gonna do? She has no weapon. Or any combat experience, maybe? Why would I run off? The hell does the sewer come out of the ruins for? Did we build the sewer into the ruins? We have a great way to honor these artifacts. At least this one's smart enough to wear the hood.
I am glad to see you safe, my friend. What of the others?
Also, Minfilia is going to be met with a dead end.
Teleji played me for a fool. I thought the Crystal Brave's mine till the very moment I felt the blade at my back.
And who is you?
There will be ample time for soul-searching later. For now, we must put some arms between us and Ul'dah.
By taking a main road.
Well, would you look who it is?
Oh my god.
Need a ride? I doubt it'll be half as exciting as the last trip we took. Not if I have anything to say about it anyway.
Another Bren to save the day. Why is it always us? Do we might want
It's not dawdle, eh? All aboard.
to hurry about that? Also, Minfield is going to turn back around and that tunnel's going to be totally collapsed in. What does she think is going to happen? Does our... Oof. We left Minfilia. Another man I'm hate, I'm guessing? No, not this one. This one's a good one. This one's a good egg. You know, if you started the game in Ul'dah, is it the same damn carriage you came in on?
was stocking up on supplies over in Vesper Bay, you see, when your sister come up and begged a favour. Said her brother was having some trouble down in Uldar, and likely needed a helping hand getting away.
What's up with all the riot? We've been accused of regicide, and we're fleeing for our lives.
Fine hiding place. I decided to try there first. And lo and behold, there you were. Aye, and judging by them soldiers as were pouring out of the city, I arrived not a moment too soon. Must have been fate that we happened to find you there, though, eh?
Yeah, feels like a loose end tied up. In a way.
I had thought to look out for Alize, but would appear she was the one watching over me. I've made such a mess of things.
Who might you be, young sir?
I'm quite surprised that they're not sending out whole-ass airships to look for us, considering the gravity of what happened. Or heck, how did they not link pearl other troops stationed at other checkpoints to say, hey, be on the lookout?
Vice Marshal of the Immortal Flames. I had been on the Alamegan front these past few moons, but an urgent communication called me back to Uldar. Scarce had my boots touched the cobbles, though, when the streets erupted with cries of assassination. I immediately went in search of answers, and came across Master Alfino here. Needless to say, I did not think his imprisonment justified. The blame plainly lies with the Monitarists. Their greed and corruption are well known to me, but for them to take advantage of the situation with such alacrity...
Was that Pippin, you said? Ain't that the name of General Alden's lad?
Yes, I am his son. Adopted, of course. 'Twas only as we were leaving Uldar that I learned of father's fate. Once I have seen you a safe distance away, I mean to return to the city and extricate him from this madness.
Oh, he's Raban's son.
Then you needn't travel no further than Blackbrush. Our fugitives have a friend waiting for them there.
Wonder if he knows then fully what happened to
I
him.
dreamed of bringing about Eorzea's salvation, but in the end...
Because he mentioned Alfino getting arrested, but does he know what happened to Roban himself? Has he gotten a chance to see that yet?
Saving.
Seems them soldiers will keep searching a while yet. Reckon we take the carriage back towards Udal and get a lay of the land. Maybe provide a distraction if need be. You three wait here. Help will be along shortly. I don't trust that. Stay strong, friends. The real fight is to come. I feel like I need to keep moving, preferably on terrain that's difficult for the other soldiers. Alright, let's go. What about the silent guy at the front of the carriage? How does he feel about all this? How could I have been so blind? The most unassuming folk can prove to be your greatest allies. That fellow was but a passing merchant, yet he lent us aid without a moment's hesitation, or any hint of concern for his own safety. Though I can well imagine how a man could feel inspired to risk all in your presence. Father spoke often of you, and long have I looked forward to our first meeting. Needless to say, it is not at all how I envisioned it. Yeah, me neither. Master Alfino, you must not give in to despair. That would only play into our enemy's hands. So long as you and Bren are free, we may still set things right. Forgive me, Marshal Tarpin, but I... Alfino, my boy, sorry to keep you waiting. Well, I guess there's one fraction. It's the... Sid, what are you doing here? Does this technically count as our ties to Garlemald? Putting you out of the fire, as usual. Your merchant friend told me everything. Truly, then he is no merchant, but an angel in peddler's clothing. But tell us, how do you intend to bear our friends to safety? Speaking of airships, I hid the Enterprise but a short distance away. All I need is a destination. We must find a place beyond the reach of both the Monitarists and the Crystal Braves. Kurthus, Ishgard will not suffer the intrusion of foreign forces in their territory. That settles it. With me, everyone. Well, I guess now that all the shit's hit the fan, maybe it's a good thing that they still haven't opened up their nation yet. Not to fear. I must remain here. I dare not abandon Old Da to the Monitarists and their cronies. You may be certain that they will seek to defame you. Already have. Both here and in the other city-states. But know that I shall do my utmost to thwart their every effort. Frankly, I do not expect it to be much of a challenge. The small folk will not turn so easily on the Warrior of Light and their allies, no matter what the Monitarists claim. Marshal Tarpin, I know not what to say. Ah, now that father would labor to believe. But enough talk. You must go, Master Alphino. Your ship awaits. Now this is a better getaway vehicle. With a man I actually trust. Up, up, there's no rest for the righteous. Thank you. Someone has the right attitude about it. We can think and ponder while we fly. The white-haired get-it-done crew. I swear. Hey, I got my weapon back. Where were they keeping it? Or did Sid just have a spare? We should make for Camp Dragonhead and speak with Lord Haurchefant. Mayhap, he will know what to do. Or maybe, Raban's son gave it back to me. It was like, oh, by the way, this is yours. How far away are we? We're close. What happened to the dude I hated on the other stream? He went the boom. Master Alphino told me your tale. It warms my heart that you should turn to me before all others, and I shall endeavor to deserve your trust. Yeah, he totally has a crush, doesn't he? Alas, the situation here has grown more complicated in your absence. It would be best if I explained in full. Oh, there it is. There's the last one. He did? He did. Pretty sure he did. Whole thing blew up. Oh, this is the last quest, ain't it? Before the dawn. It's only told me 1,000,000 times.
There has been word from the capital. Ishgard has weathered another assault, and 'tis said several wyverns broke through into the city proper. The Temple Knights succeeded in slaying the beasts, but the intrusion prompted orders to further strengthen the guard and to place the city under a perpetual state of alert. How keenly we feel the loss of our wards at the gates of judgment. Yet we must not bemoan our misfortune. Sir Emmerich is safely returned from Ul'dah, and once more leads the defense of Ishgard. As for the matter of your asylum, I am afraid no progress will be made until the threat to our nation is diminished.
Which is to say, our asylum is tied to our ability to help you deal with the wyverns.
But do not despair. You are not without allies. You are more than welcome to shelter here for as long as you wish. Pray, think of it as a new headquarters of sorts. The falling snows, or some such.
Tataru is gonna come back to one hell of a letter, man. And that is why the plot set up for, oh, here's where we're going, Tataru. We'll be back by this date. Eat what's in the fridge.
All frivolity aside, any who come here in search of you will receive no aid from House Forton. For once, the Ishgardian reputation for inhospitality shall work in our favor.
So this is what it feels like to be a waifu.
Agents of Uldar will find their every inquiry dismissed, and their every request for entry rebuffed, until such time as their masters have acknowledged your innocence. You once fought to preserve the honor of my dear friend. 'Tis a blessing that I may now repay that debt in kind. But let us dwell no more on this. Pray, join the rest of your companions. 'Tis bitterly cold this day. I suspect there are those who might welcome the warmth your presence brings.
Like you? You speaking of yourself, sir? Quest accepted. Quest complete. Is Alphino asleep? Who managed to escape? And what of those who did not? No, he's just fretting. Who does he have a crush on? It's kind of implied that Harsherfont has a crush on the main character. Upon proceeding to the ancestry, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view the scenes in their entirety. I gotta ask, does this lead me directly into Heaven's Word? Like, if I start this right now, does it begin Heaven's Word? Credits? Okay. Because I want Heaven's Word to be its own thing. Oh, you made it. Alphino, Bren, is that really you? I see you got the note. I'm so happy that you are. I tried contacting Minfilia and the others, but no one would respond. That means she's probably been captured. And then Crystal Braves, our own people, turned on us at the marketplace. They came after you too, huh? Flahaman told me to run, and so I did. I ran and ran until my lungs burned and my feet ached, but I lost my way, and then... Fortunately, I had observed some of the Braves behaving suspiciously beforehand. Hello, Yugiri. You're the only other Aura in the game yet, so... Oh, they gave you a full model! Ah yes, my mask. It was lost in the struggle. Pretty, isn't she? Anyway, after Yugiri found me, we traveled to Vesper Bay and met up with Urianger. When we told him what happened, he used his magics to weave a glamour around the Waking Sands. From the outside, our old headquarters now looks like an abandoned storehouse. He is that dead set on not leaving, huh? The transformation didn't take long either. Apparently Urianger started making preparations after the Imperial attack, just in case the Empire ever chose to pay us another visit. Good thinking, eh? Sorry, where was I? Oh yes, we waited there at the Waking Sands hoping others would come, but no one else did. My people are searching for the other Scions even as we speak, but we have met with no successes yet. I had hoped that you might be able to suggest further places to look. Prison. Ah, but you should know, the Rising Stones did not share the Waking Sands' good fortune. Only Crystal Braves await you there. Feeling our headquarters has been taken over yet again. Be that as it may, we have yet cause to hope, do we not? If the two of you escaped, it is not impossible that the others could have done so as well. You may have been forsaken by men and women believed true, but rest assured that the people of Doma stand with you. We welcome you this opportunity to repay our debts, and shall continue our efforts to locate the others and see the Scions restored to their rightful place of honor. Is Yugiri one of our party members? Yeah, kinda. She's one of our allies.
'Tis all my doing.
No, it ain't.
I believed myself the only one who truly understood Eorzea's woes. And look what that arrogance has wrought. I gave commands, influenced governments with my certainty. I treated the Crystal Braves and even the Scions themselves as pawns in my great scheme to save the realm.
You had good intentions, it's just other people had far worse, and you're kinda young and oblivious to that kind of stuff at your age. You're 16! I can't blame you for that.
In my headlong rush into imagined glory, I paid no heed to the ground upon which I trod. The salvation of Eorzea. What was it that I hoped to achieve? Did I believe that I could rid the realm of every danger and difficulty? That I could defeat the Empire and the Ascians, and find homes for every refugee?
At least you made an attempt. That's worth something.
So very clever. Become a guardian of Eorzea, I implored, and sat back to watch my perfect army cleanse the land of chaos. It was all but a means to feed my own vanity. Only when all is lost do I finally realize the truth.
Oh, Alfino.
Someone else took advantage of you. It's not your fault. They duped all of us. Are you gonna blame me too?
So, Master Alfino, are you content to remain a broken blade? Is there no flame hot enough to reforge you? What of the fine companions who yet stand at your side? I dare say the fires of their determination will soon have you slicing the air again with your customary wit.
I hardly deserve such friendship. And besides, where are we to go?
We're allowed to be here. And that's something. That's more than what a lot of people in Eorzea have right now.
Alfino, if I may? Should this place not serve our purpose, then we shall go to Ishgard. Minfilia told me many times, as long as we stand fast against despair, the beacon of hope will never be lost to sight. Be it in the snow or in the clouds, we few will see that the dawn's light shines again.
You are right, Tataru. Thank you. And thank you for your kind words, Lord Orchefon. 'Tis true that Eorzea yet has her guardians. The Scions have achieved much, and 'twould be remiss of me to discard it all in a fit of self-pity.
Hey, sometimes a guardian isn't a blade. Sometimes it's a really tall guy who brings you tea in your worst moments.
Let us then resume our journey, together, one step at a time.
There it is! I recognize the music. We finished A Realm Reborn. Do people live? Who knows? We'll have to find out next time. In Heaven's Word. There's an after credits? Okay. There was a way to speed this up too. Change scrolling speed. Okay, we can speed it up a little bit. Let us please speed it up. We don't need to watch super duper fast. Super slow. But yeah, I might do a little bit with the weapons, like I said, still. But I guess with more forging them, it's going to be the equivalent of doing it as a fugitive, hiding about in the woods and in the dungeons. You finished the game? No, I finished the first part of the game, so like a patch. Think of it like Genshin finishing a region, and we're about ready to go into the next one. Think of it like, oh, we just finished Fontaine, and now we're going into Natlan, so that's what this is. Ishgard is going to be our Natlan. We're going from 2.0 to 3.0. They just give us credits each time to signify the ending of a particular patch. Especially in this case, since they're going to change all the voice actors and stuff. Oh, trust me, there is still a ways to go. I finished one patch of many. Let's see, Heaven's Word, Stormblood, Endwalker, Shadowbringers. That's 4 more. And did I miss any? Heaven's Word, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker. There's at least 4 more patches, and the 5th one comes out in literally next week. Dawn Trail. Yeah, I didn't count Dawn Trail because it's technically not out yet, but a few more days. What is it at this point? 7 days? Seven days, and then the servers are going to be congested AF, which means that is a perfect time for me to take my break. Give or take. Yeah, sometimes launches don't always go to plan. In my case, with my crappy internet, they never go to plan, which is why I rarely partake in them. I always give them a couple days. Minimum. I'm fully expecting several thousand long queue lines. As is when I log in, it's usually about a 50-person queue. During one of the other issues with housing, there was like several thousand queue lines, and I bet with the release of an expansion, it's probably going to be even more than that. Give it 2 or 3 weeks and it'll be fine. That's approximately the amount of time I plan to give it. Like I said, I'm going to take about a month in between. Both for myself and because, like I said, I always have issues with games at launch because of my crappy internet. And that I cannot fix. And that'll give me some time to get caught up on other projects as well, like Genshin, getting caught up in Genshin, because Natlan is going to be coming out soon. And too, since like I said, July is such a crap month to record in, it's good that I have a bit of a backlog. Just in case I'm not able to record anything, I have plenty that'll still continue to come out. So as ARR on a whole, I enjoyed it. Obviously, it's very introductory still, and a lot of this is going to have to be wrapped up in another patch because it left us on a cliffhanger. But other than that, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy my time with it, learning bit by bit of this world. Though I plan to hopefully get to some of those other locations that they keep mentioning, like Sharlayan, for example. They keep bringing it up, and I didn't get to see it. I know Doma you'll eventually get to. With that much time for a break, what are you going to do while having a break? Well, I'm not taking like a full break, I'm just taking a break from this game. I'm going to be recording other games in the meantime, so still going to be working on Honkai, still going to be working on Genshin, etc. It's not a break as in like, oh, I'm going on vacation. It's a break from this game specifically. One, to avoid burnout, like I said, and two, because it's going to be just so condensed and populated these next couple of weeks. And if the game's going to be borderline unplayable, I don't really want to renew a subscription to something I'm not going to barely be able to play. I like the official artwork back here, though. Nice little touch. Yoshitaka Amano, I believe. And two, they're going to update the graphics. That's another thing. That's another reason why I wanted to condense it and get it done. Is they're going to have a graphics patch by the time I come back. So things are going to look a little more snazzy. But that also means it's going to make the game run hotter on my PC. I really don't need that in the middle of July. There's a reason I have a tendency to do Switch or retro games in the summer, and that's because they don't run super duper hot, or their consoles don't heat up quite like other ones do. PS4, for example, is an oven. This PS4 I do specifically in the winter, not only because it gets too hot in the summer, but because it makes an awesome space heater. Give it till late July to early August, and the server should be smoother. Yeah, that's what I'm anticipating. And I have to get caught up on a lot of other stuff. Honkai just had a new patch come out. It seemed like it might have been a pretty big patch with the length the update took last night. So I'll be doing that soon. Genshin had some MSQ I need to get to. A lot of character quests I haven't had time to get to. And some retro stuff in the meantime. Possibly even some Final Fantasy to bridge the gap in between. There was a lot of 3 and 12 in A Realm Reborn, and I'm told, at least without spoilers anyway, is that Heavensward supposedly contains a lot of references to 6? Just a thought. Can't guarantee it, but I might. I did play 3 and 12 prior to starting A Realm Reborn on purpose, even though I didn't record them. So I did have technically beaten 6, but I beat it a long time ago. Like over 10 years ago. So I don't remember too much about it. I feel like once I played it, it's going to be like when I played Tales of Legendia, when I said, oh, I don't remember jack shit about this game, and then I played it and remembered most of it. I feel it's going to be one of those scenarios, like, as I play, I'm going to be, like, in a constant state of, oh, yeah, I remember this, I remember that, this is when this happens, and people are going to be like, I thought you said you didn't remember it. I don't. But when you experience it, it jogs the memory. So whether I record it or do it in my own time, it remains to be seen, but I think it would be a good boost. Playing 3 and 12 really enhanced my experience before going into A Realm Reborn, so I might consider 6 in the meantime, in between. Especially since it wouldn't take that long. Oh my gosh, it's a Super Nintendo game. It's short. Really short. I'd like to do that with all the expansions if I can. Play the Final Fantasies in between to know which ones they correspond to and get the most out of my experience. Because it really does make a difference. Like, the game would still be fun without doing that, but being able to go into those dungeons and be like, I've seen this, I've seen that, I know what this is from. To me, it's, you know, just so much extra that way. 'Cause I really does make a difference. Like, the game would still be fun without doing that, but being able to go into those dungeons and be like, I've seen this, I've seen that, I know what this is from. To me, it's, you know, just so much extra that way. Like, the meal by itself is good, but adding a dipping sauce to it? Peak. There we go. Oh, it's you. You're still alive. I guess you didn't die after all.
All has been arranged as you desired, my lord.
The fact that we're coming back to this means he's probably going to be even more of a villain than we anticipated. Otherwise, why take time to highlight him when we otherwise know he's trouble? That bandage is gonna get infected at that pace. It's so grody in there. And you want revenge, I can tell. That's not how one makes a tourniquet. Nabrialis is no more. The ardor was not to his invoke. His demise was of his own making. Nevertheless, it concerns me. They have extinguished that which should rightly be eternal. Mayhap he was not wholly mistaken. Greater haste may be warranted. We're of one mind. The northern lands, then? The earth is fertile and the seeds well sown. By my will they shall reap salvation unlike any the world has known. By his will. By his will. Yeah, they worship something. Don't know what it is. Wait, whose shoes? God damn it. I have answered thy summons, emissary. Speak and make thine intent known. How many others are corrupt? Not again. For how long? I would speak of fate, Archon. Yours, mine, the fate of this very star. Is this why you don't show your face? This is one of our teammates. He's betrayed us. We've been had. Again. This keeps happening. We need to vet people or something. I'm gonna have trust issues in this game. I forgot about you.
Thou thinkest sanctuary lieth beyond.
Can it, Grandpa?
Delusion. Despair. Death. Thou shalt find naught else here.
It's worth trying. Eat your fish and go to bed, Grandpa. To preserve the dawn's light, the heroes journeyed north. Their hearts filled with hope and eyes fixed. Heaven's word. Har har, very funny. New chapter of New Game Plus has been added. That means the moment I talk to Alphino is the moment I get yeeted into Heaven's Word. So we're not going to do that. We are going to accept Haurchefant's hospitality and take a break. Yeah, it is done. So I may, like I said, still take time to do my weapons. So I might technically run around in I'm pretty sure we still have access to all the old spaces. If not, I'm really going to be crashing at Haurchefant's. Just because it's an MMO, it should still technically let you back in. Sort of like even with Genshin Impact, when the Raiden was hunting us down, we're still allowed back in the city to do stuff. Take our daily missions from Catherine. Same goes for this. So we're just gonna, for plot convenience, ignore that. And in my own time, I will end up using my remaining days to see if I can get a little bit further with the relic weapons. But if that ends up not being the case, then I will finish those after my hiatus, prior to doing Heaven's Word. I'll still count them as a Realm Reborn for the playthrough, but I'll do them when time allows, because like I said, I'm not going to renew my subscription during a time when I won't even really be able to play the game anyways. So we have 4 days to see how far I get with the relic weapons. Actually, we have 3, since I'm not going to be doing it right now. I'm going to be doing it later. So for now, this is where we end it. That is the end of Heaven's Word, and I'm not gonna go to sleep in my inn. That's gonna be weird. I'm going to be sleeping here, technically, so this is where we leave the episode for now, and this is where we'll begin when Heaven's Word does as well. So for now, thank you so much to everyone who has joined. It has been a wild ARR ride, and it didn't actually take as long as I thought it would. I genuinely thought I would go over 100 episodes in getting this done, but we're gonna be closer to the mid-70s, or maybe even 80 by the time I finish editing. So we will see. But for now, this is where I am going to call it, because I am out of time to do anything else, and this is a good space. So I will see you all in Heaven's Word next time. Like and subscribe if you want to meet me there. Bye-bye!